So before we get into this interview, I have a special thing I want to address to chat. I always address this to chat, but this is a special moment. So I am interviewing the one and only Maseadilla. First of all, welcome in. Welcome in.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. The reason, so I wanted to bring you in for a multitude of reasons. You're someone new to the scene for me. Like we haven't known each other for long. Like I think it's probably been like maybe a month and a half. But one of our instant connections as well has not only been first-person shooter games, having beards, and being sexy motherfuckers, but it's also been our connection to 420 streaming and the connections we've made through that. So off camera, we took some rips, so if you see me zone out and start giggling like a fucking idiot, you're fucking welcome. Chat, just so you know, I probably will not be reading chat as much. I will be asking questions to not Devi, my bad. Questions to Maseadilla. See, I'm already fucking up. God damn.
Hey, and that's the thing, chat. Whatever he says is the same on my end. Like, I'm really not going to be paying attention all that much. If you guys have a question for me to ask back to him, I will more than likely respond with, letting him know. But plus, just so your chat knows, I am more than likely going to smoke during this.
You are fine to smoke during. You're fine to eat during, because, like I said, we took some rips. So if you start seeing me eat chicken, you understand them.
Put your arm up real quick. No, the other one. The other one.
Yeah, I saw. I got one there. I got one right here. Hold on. There you go.
Oh.
Right there. And then I got another one, severed skull right here. That's all I got.
Nice.
But yeah, so welcome in, Mace. I'm going to say that for short because it's a lot easier than just saying Maseadilla every time.
No, that works. Mace is the best thing you could say.
Thank God. Okay. So first of all, welcome in. Something that was really funny that we said off stream that I want to kind of bring attention to the podcast was that you're fucking 23, my guy. Like, you are young, living it, thriving, fucking, Taco Bell living king right now. Like, I remember when I was 23, even just playing video games at 23, like, streaming was not even in the radar for me. Like, I want to say when I first got into anything, like, entertainment-wise, like, it was YouTube, and it was, God, what was it, 2016 or 2017 when I tried to start doing YouTube. Like, I feel old just even mentioning that, but, like, it wasn't even in my radar until, like, after college around that time. Like, I was watching it in college. I didn't even know streaming was a thing until like 2018/2019 when a buddy of mine was helping me out through like some creative like backlog. Like, I was working on some videos and I was trying to figure out, what do I want to do? I don't want to like get burnt out doing the same thing. And he's like, well, what's your issue? It's like, it's not even finding time. I have plenty of time. It's just like doing something I love because I feel better when I'm around people. He's like, well, why don't you try streaming? And I was like, what the fuck you mean? What is streaming? And then he showed me Twitch, and ever since then, I've been streaming here and there, and I've been more full time in 2020. So, for my question for you to start off is, what got you into streaming? How'd you find out about it? Let's kind of dig into that a little bit.
So, I mean, I can't really say because like I've always been that kid back in like 2012. When I was 12 years old, about 11 years ago. Make you feel,
yeah, right,
like, but. Team 4-Star was a big one for me with their kind of comedy. Their parodies for Dragon Ball were coming out at the time. Smosh, I remember watching a lot of Smosh as a kid.
Yeah,
there was another good one that they never streamed, but they would always stream their animations on Twitch right when it first started out, and that was Dickman on YouTube.
Yes,
like
yes.
They would always do stupid shit. Yeah, that, and then the Vanoss crew.
Oh, the Vanoss crew. I watched so much of their shit, getting into YouTube.
They opened my eyes for because I got a PS3 when I was 12, did my thing. I bought, paid for it myself with lawn mowing money over the summer and ended up wanting to get Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. We didn't really have good internet at the time, so it was like 60 megabytes a second. So there was no way I was going to be trying to upload videos, recording, doing stuff like that, especially because I tried to do a capture card, couldn't work. And I guess I kind of always had a knack of like knowing I wanted to do something with gaming and videos because I remember back even when my mom had the old, you remember the flip, the 720 flip?
Yeah.
You could click that little button and it'd shoot out the USB to plug it into the computer. I used to record myself playing fucking games like that.
Oh my gosh.
And I would sit there and I probably could go find the flip back at my mom and dad's house, and it still has the video on it. And it's of one of my oldest gaming buddies that I've had for forever. He was like a dad to me. He bought me a gift card for my birthday when I was younger and stuff. Like, super cool guy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's of him doing a stupid glitch. I was like, hey guys, you want to see me and my friends do a dumb glitch of Call of Duty Black Ops 2? I was, really simple stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously every kid who gets an iPhone is going to kind of do that same thing. But I took it that step further because I would record my dogs. I would record what we were doing in the house. Dumb shit to the point where my dad would be like, yo, Mace, put the thing down.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need it. Sorry, I'm watching.
No, you're good. You're good.
It was your Botrix. I saw your Botrix chat come out, but I got distracted. But then, later on into like high school and stuff, I had switched schools the first semester of freshman year and left my friend group that I had to go then to another school across town.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to make new friends, obviously, as a freshman is fucking tough, first of all.
Oh, absolutely.
But when your friend group that you had that headed up splitting made their new friends already in that first semester because you weren't there, I had to go find some new friends. So I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'll just start watching YouTube on my phone during lunch. I was doing my thing. I had no fucking cares in the world. I didn't care what I was doing. One of my older buddies from middle school I ended up hanging out with and connecting a lot more with. And I was like, we started watching. He introduced me to Tim the Tap Man, Dr. Disrespect, Nick Merckx, right when they were all starting to fucking come up. And I've realized Tim is my inspiration for streaming.
I like that.
Whereas Vanoss, Wildcat, Panda, they're my inspiration for content creation. Tim is my inspiration for streaming.
I like that.
Go ahead.
No,
Sorry,
no. You're good. You're good. I was gonna say, like, when I look at my current like inspirations or like who I look up to when it comes to like streaming and all that, Tim has been one of mine for like a while. You like if you ever look at any past like interview or whatever, or if you hear me talk, I always use him as like prime examples for a lot of things on what makes like what's a good example of a good streamer, what's a good example of an entertainer on social media, what's a good example of X, Y, and Z, right?
Right.
Like Tim is not only like he's not all skill and he's not all comedy. He's a mixture of everything. He's also, he's got like that like what's that word? I don't know how to describe
about him.
He's got like this. He got this like persona or this aura around him, kind of thing. Where when you watch Nick, you feel like one of the jockey boys. You feel like you're just, you're
right,
fucking around.
You're gonna get in there, and he's like this the entire fucking time. Yeah,
I love him. He's a fucking jockey nerd, and I love him. Like when I watch like Dr. Lupo, it's very much chiller, more relaxed, kind of like based kind of content, like very like base level. But when I watch Tim,
and then Tim's over here doing this shit.
Yeah, just fucking twerk. He's just fucking twerking on stream or raging at stuff. But like I said, he's also been around the industry for so long. Like when he first started off on YouTube, it was, God, I want to say it was Black Ops fucking videos or whatever, and he was doing trick shots or whatever. But like even when he was streaming, he did like PUBG. He was a top 500 Roadhog in Overwatch 1.
Well, don't forget he played WoW.
Oh yeah, he loves
religiously. Now
he's like going into like COD. He's starting to now go back into like CS:GO and all that shit.
Well, did you see how much he's prepping for CS2?
Dude, he is hardcore going after that.
He just had his first stream. I think it was yesterday or this morning. I can't remember, one of the two. He got a fucking operator skin in Call of Duty.
Yeah, I saw that. Dude, I'm about to get that too.
Him and Nick both, and they both came back just to play COD for that one thing.
Well, yeah, I think it's probably in a contract agreement, obviously.
But that's the thing. That goes back to you saying it's their persona, it's the way they hold themselves, it's the way their communities hold up them, because they've built this for the community. They're not, I mean, yeah, they're on it, they're on their shit. When they get subs, it's like, oh yeah, hey, thanks for the $5, thanks for the membership. They don't really care.
Right.
It's not like us smaller streamers, because they have that backup. They have those contracts. They have these things, and people come to that because they're like, oh, I'm not really into streaming. I just want to see somebody who's funny.
Yeah, Tim was really good at bringing the entertainment at any point, whether it was a paid advertisement, whether he was just fucking around on a game. Like I remember when Caldera was still kind of like near its end before Warzone 2 came out. He did a sponsored stream for Chipotle because he had like he was just promoting this spicy steak, whatever it was, guajillo or
Yeah.
whatever thing it was. I forgot. But he
Oh
was
yeah, the garlic guajillo steak.
yeah, garlic guajillo steak, and he literally just made a fucking day where he just watched like either solos or he would just do some stupid shit with Cloxy, and they made a YouTube video out of it. Like, but like you knew it was a paid advertised moment, but he was still he was still trying to like bring his style of comedy into it, which is impressive.
Because you could never tell if you didn't watch the stream for that day. They would never put the edit into the video. You would never know that it was the fucking part of the stream that was the sponsored ad.
Mm-hmm. And I think that speaks a character of his level of creativity, as well as like an entertainer in this industry. Like he knows that he's got a sponsor. He's gonna do well with the sponsor, but he's gonna try to capitalize not only on the sponsored stream part of it, but he's gonna put it on YouTube or do whatever. Like it's so wild just to think of like this goofy man getting this doing all this.
Yeah, but I mean, look at Jack Black.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to look at the most extreme version of what Tim could be,
Mm-hmm.
it's Jack Black.
I agree 100%.
Because of the way that they act. They hold themselves very similarly where they know, hey, I'm the fat, crazy dude that does silly shit.
Absolutely. They know their characters, but they're not like full on the dumb side of it. I think
right, or they're just pushing it towards people. It comes out of them naturally.
Yeah, and what's really nice is that like I love how Tim has also kind of like been taking care of his health a little bit better. So he's like, so he's been coming slimming down. He's like, I remember watching him when he still had like the ponytail and he was playing Fortnite and all that. Like he looks good for what he's doing. Like he's taking care of himself, and I love that his chat like he still carries on the joke of him being the fat ass and all that, like the 2-ton, and. But that's the 2-time and the 2-ton or or Timmy Tenders or whatever. Like I love
Timmy Tenders,
dude.
What was it? Meal Team 6.
Meal Team 6. My favorite one was the 2-ton. Oh my god, it would make me laugh every fucking time. But he still plays in that persona just for the fans and the OGs and all that, and I love that about him because like. He doesn't stray away from his character. He just strays away. He just usually moves on to something different when he's playing. But that same persona, that family man, that funny, realistic guy, that like just genuine kind of friend, he's always been through and through with. And that like kind of brings me into like the next part of the conversation is that like how important as a streamer or even as an entertainer, like obviously I get this question go for humans, but this is more just for streaming and entertainment and like content creation. How important do you think genuinicity is?
I think it's everything. I think that there should be no discernibility from who you are outside of stream to who you are inside of stream.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's all about transparency. Everybody I've talked to, because I've gotten shit from my old friend group. Oh, why'd you make the switch to Kick? You're just in it for the money. Well, no, I'm in it to grow. I'm in it to make myself and make my community better. I'm in it to meet people, to make people's day better, because I've been through some shit. Not while I was in, but before I joined. I've been through some shit that changed me irreparably for the rest of my life. I still have problems with it today. The thing is, people have to understand where you're coming from. And if you're not straightforward in telling them what's going
Hello?
Hello?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Oh my god, I don't know what the fuck happened to my computer. That was fucking weird. Let's try this again. Like everything just froze.
Because your stream freaked
Dude,
out too.
Dude, everything just froze. Like you were still moving, so I thought, oh, maybe my headphones just died or whatever. But no, everything just froze. Like it was weird. Oh, please don't tell me. Okay, it's not doing that. Hold on.
Is your camera open in OBS?
Shouldn't be. There we go. There we go.
Okay.
There we go.
No, but
Get
what
off
I
my
was
fucking
saying is
face.
as long as people know you're not lying to them,
Mm-hmm.
because that's when the worst shit happens.
Yeah. Like I do a lot of my investigation and thought process. I'm unfortunately through Twitter posts. Like I just see so many people act a certain way when they're on Twitter, whether it's the persona that they make for themselves as a streamer / entertainer, whether they think they have to be overly business professional with their Twitter. You know, there's just so many things, like even from how they present themselves on streams, even when going to like, what's an example? Like even if you're like a VTuber, like there are some VTubers that will play their part, but most of them will be who they are and as the character that they are.
But I'd also
like, they play
say
both.
it's easier. I'd almost say it's easier though for VTubers, because the thing is that drawing or that representation of them is typically who they really are inside. They just don't want to show themselves exteriorly.
Oh, absolutely. And that's what's like important to me. Like I am a very big advocate for being human. Like not this business professional kind of machine, not this fucking like
Hey,
so
Chad,
here's the thing.
I'm having a bad day. I feel like shit. I don't feel good mentally. I'm fucking pissed off, but I'm here. Or I'm pissed off and I can't stream today. I just wanted to let you guys know.
Like even like simple things like that. But like the thing that like gets me is that like when I go on Twitter, right?
Right.
Like Twitter is not like your business email. Like you can make your business email basically, but I think it's the stupidest thing. I think being human on social media to your audience, to your fans, to your supports, that's the key thing in my opinion. Like obviously you're gonna have to want that whole genuinity while you're here, but like Twitter is like that middle battleground of like
yeah.
your streaming business profile plus you. Now when I think of the people that I like to follow on Twitter, it's people that I love, people that I support, people that I want to get to know. But when it comes to like me personally, like it's usually like when I think of like any kind of celebrity or anything like that, I always talk about the celebrities that like maybe want to be followed or want to get followed on Twitter. So like I follow Elon Musk, not for the fucking politics. He fucking shares memes half the fucking time.
Dude, I follow Tyler Wine, Wildcat,
Yep.
and Dahi Denogla.
I love Dahi Denogla.
Because we're very low nerdy. Oh, I'll turn this up on my end. That's on my end then.
Damn.
Hey, at least it's not just me and it's both of us.
Right?
But no, like I'm raised Christian and I don't want to get into religion here because I get it.
Fair enough.
Big topic. But he's been posting a lot of Christian posts lately. Ever since Easter, people have been giving him so much shit on Twitter. But you look at his next tweet, and it's Tyler complaining about some other shit with COD, and then Nogla comes in and says, "Tyler, you sound depressed. Don't kill yourself." Out of fucking left field. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so,
oh my god,
you see, that's him being his genuine self because he doesn't care.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Dude,
Tyler, he's one of the guys that can go on Twitter, bitch about something, doesn't care if he posted. Nogla, he goes on there, he just doesn't give a fuck about whatever it is.
Doesn't give a flying fuck.
People said there was one that I saw for a reply, and it said, "Oh, you lost a follower because of you posting so much stuff." And he goes, "All right, cool. I just hope that you're well." And I hope that you can be entertained by somebody else.
He is just being his 100% authentic self right now, and I think it's good for him because I think the past him is not that it wasn't authentic, but like he's taking on this not new, but like he's taking on this whole part in his life, which is still him. Right. And it may have changed how you see him, but he's still the same person. Like he hasn't changed who he was.
No,
and like
because
that's important.
Well, and the funny thing is like with him, everybody already knew he was this way. It's just he's become more vocal about it.
Mm-hmm.
And you can
And
just
that's what.
see it.
Mm-hmm. I think that's what makes me like following him and like him as a character, because like whether you agree with his view of stuff or not, he's being authentic and he's being the real him. Like I said, the past him was still the real him, but like this part in his life is big to him right now, and he's all about it, and that's still he's still vibing with what's big important to him.
Yeah.
And I like seeing that. And like the same thing goes like with Tim the Tatman. Like I love Tim the Tatman's Twitter because like
Oh
it's
my
usually either him,
God.
it's him talking about the UFC,
The
him bitching about the
Cowboys.
Dallas Boys,
Yeah.
him talking about food or beer, or just call it, or he go or some one of his friends post something like their thumbnail
Oh,
for their stream
Niners.
or whatever. Go, yo, God, I'll talk about that one later. But then like he'll go to his friends like Twitters and they'll post a photo of themselves, and he's just gonna talk shit about his friends in the photos, which I fucking love.
Go look
Like
at
he'll put like.
go look at my most recent tweet today with Chronic in it. It's the family tree one.
Yeah, I was reading that.
And you know what's crazy? We met
Yeah.
2 months ago.
Damn, he's already your husband or wife, whatever you choose. I'll wait till you chew your taco to make your fucking comeback.
I ain't bitch made like that.
Damn. All right. Well, we'll call Chronic out about that later, and you two could duke it out with a pillow fight, maybe some mud wrestling.
I mean, shit.
But that's the thing.
As long as we
that's the
naked.
thing is that. Yeah, fair enough, right? Hey, yo, for the boys, for the boys.
Say pause.
Anyways.
Leave our socks on.
That's the socks on. Oh my God. But even so, like that's why I love Tim, because he's just so real. He's so human. And what turns me off the most in the last, like, I'll say 3 to 6 months, right? Before kick and during the kick thing, is people that can't show or don't show a lot of their human side. Like, here's the thing that like there's always gonna be a grind my gears kind of moment. Oh, thank you so much, Zombie Amira. Something that gets on my grinds my gears, and like I don't really like to talk about it so much on Twitter, because like if I do, I'm gonna go all out and just piss off the whole fucking kick community.
Yeah.
Is people that cannot shut the fuck up about streaming. Not so much their achievements, like if you show that, I totally fucking get that.
Right.
But like so much the people who can't talk about streaming, networking, all that other shit. Like you go through their Twitter, there's like 7 posts today about the same basic bullshit of streaming and networking and all that kind of stuff. And then you get like one post like, oh, by the way, I'm trying to, support small streamers. Drop your links here. Do this, do that.
No, I get it.
And like I said, in one of our in one of the past interviews, the second one with Delphi, we were talking about just like heart checking ourselves, because like we see people who we don't know so much. They may be fake, they may be genuine, whatever they may be. But then I start seeing my own friends start doing it, and I'm just like in my heart of hearts, I want to go like, please stop being this cringe. Please stop being this cringe. But then like he was talking to me like, well, if you know your friends are genuine, then you should have to say it's cringe. You should separate the bad from what is the good.
Right.
That person wants to shout out their achievements, like someone gifted themselves, someone rated them. Be happy for them. Like it's not that I'm not. It just looks cringe. Like don't worry if it looks cringe or not. Just know that they're being genuine if you really believe that they are.
Well,
and I'm like, I do. So yeah.
And I wouldn't even say sometimes it seems as though it's ungenuine or that it seems cringe, just because, like if you look at me and Chronic, yes, we talk about our streams a lot, we're always working on Hemp Island. We're always working on edits. If you see me not in this Discord for a day, I'm either at work or something's going on.
Right.
Because I quit my old job at the vape shop, did my thing. We were supposed to move about a month ago. I've been unemployed for about a month. And I told the wife, and I told Chronic this too, because I saw that Kick was happening. I saw that I was getting closer and closer every day to affiliate before I hit even my fucking birthday in April.
Mm-hmm.
And it was 100 times faster than Twitch was, and way more positive than Twitch was as well. And that's what got me to stay in it. And I told her, I told wifey, I was like, look, I'm doing this full time. And I posted this the other day or a while back, and it's a little note card to remind myself before every stream. I will sit here and read these off 5 times. Just as a mantra. And then I saw Rhino post it in like the same day.
Yeah.
Because he has one also. And
Mm-hmm.
it's one of them things where I sat there and I realized great minds think alike, not only because of something like this, but because of what you're saying, getting that personal aspect out there, letting people know what's going on. Shit, like the other day, I was having a terrible mental health day. I didn't stream, so I ended up going on Twitter at like 12 at night, and I was like, "Hey, you guys, I just want to let you guys know I apologize for what went down, but I can't stream tonight. I am having too bad of a mental health day, and it's just too much."
No, absolutely. And like I said, like I said, showing off achievements, showing off what you're trying to do in the world and all that, that's not the issue.
Right,
My issue is that like they don't talk about anything else.
right.
Like you could go like 7 days down their Twitter feed. You can go look over 100 different tweets. It's all about how to truly network, how to truly grow, how to truly do this.
And maybe it's because I'm on the smaller scale of things. I just recently hit about 300 followers on Twitter, and I only follow
Mm-hmm.
127 people, I think, or something like 171, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But half of those are old friends from high school because I made the Twitter when I was 14,
Right.
and the other half is people that I've met. I don't follow anybody unless it's someone that I genuinely can go in their Twitter, see what you're talking about, where it's, hey,
Mm-hmm.
they're posting about what they got going on. They're posting about what they had for fucking lunch. They're posting about what they're doing tomorrow, when they're with their friends and shit, going out drinking at Topgolf or some shit.
Exactly.
They're expressing what they're doing.
Absolutely. And like I said, like that's what's important. And I feel like a lot of streamers get lost in the streaming success, I will call it, or the streaming grind that they forgot.
Buzz.
The buzz, the streaming buzz that is happening, and they kind of forget some of these humanistic aspects. Like I said, full saying this again, chat, so people can hear you. You sharing your achievement, whether it's someone rating you, someone gifting you
It is
subs or subbing to you or whatever,
never a bad thing.
it's not bad. Trust me. Like, if it happens every day, it happens every day, and you want to share a day, you share a day. But don't feel bad about it. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. But just don't forget to post some cringy meme shit like I do. Like, I like to turn it up a little bit. So this week, my fucking unhinged Twitter moment was, I said, I feel like being violent. Give me your worst food takes.
I saw that. I didn't want to say anything, but I have one for you that I saved because the wifey does it on the
Please.
regular.
Please do share.
Peanut butter and tomato sandwiches.
What? I've never like I'm wait.
And it's not even a pregnancy craving.
But it's like, what is about it? Because like it's a double salty. It's an acidic salty.
See, and that's what I said too. That's the exact. Don't you say you're unfollowing. That's the wife right now.
My ears are bleeding from that statement. Oh my god.
But no, so her and her grandma, they've her grandma's 93 now, honey.
Yeah. Wait, you're not asking me.
She's up there.
Yeah.
And so she also does peanut butter and syrup. But
Peanut butter syrup. Okay, I fuck with peanut butter and syrup. I could do that.
Yeah, no, she mixes it in a bowl and just eats it like with a spoonful.
Ooh.
Yeah. But
interesting.
no,
I would try that.
So her grandma taught her to do this when back when things were tough, and like for me, I was raised on bologna sandwiches with Lay's potato chips, and that's it.
Yep.
But that's her version of that. And so the way she says it is the tomatoes are salty because she puts extra salt on the tomatoes, because I always salt mine too. But the peanut butter, if you get the Skippy that's not natural, it's sweeter.
Yeah, it's definitely sweeter. I'll give it.
So you get that salty with the sweet. And I'm like, you know what?
Mm-hmm.
You can explain it however you want, but it's just so abysmal to me because it doesn't click.
Mm-hmm. Like one of my favorite things that I heard was on Monday when I posted that tweet. The lady I was interviewing, Miss Darcy Diamond, I love her to death.
Yeah.
She was telling me she commented in the Twitter thing, she'll just eat straight up mayo, which it's not the first person I've heard to do that, so it's not like totally unhinged.
Wait. Huh?
Straight up mayo. Wait a minute. It gets worse. You ready for this? We were on stream. We ended the podcast part of it, and she just wanted to hang out, and I was like, yeah, fuck it, whatever, I will hang out.
Right.
and she was telling me something that she actually likes to make now because someone dared her to do it before. Please make sure you don't have anything in your mouth. I don't want you to spit take.
Okay.
Mayo and banana sandwiches.
I've heard about that before.
I've never. And I said, there's no shot you fucking ate this. She pulls up her fucking YouTube channel because she saved it on there. She showed me. And I was bewildered because she took a bite, and it wasn't a small bite. It was a good sized bite. And then she ate the entire sandwich. And I was just sitting there like laughing. But I was like, you know what? Next time if I ever do a subathon on Kick or ever do anything like that, that's going to be a gold tier. Mayo banana sandwiches. Because one thing most people don't know about me is I hate condiments. Not like I hate ketchup, mustard, mayo. Not that big of a fan of hot sauce. I hate barbecue sauce.
Oh, you don't like hot sauce?
Flavorful hot sauce, yes. Vinegar hot sauce can go fuck itself.
He's on Tapatio and Cholula.
Nope.
Oh,
don't like it. Don't like any condiments.
The inner Latino in me is sad.
The inner white boy in me is just eating chicken tenders, so he doesn't fucking care.
Hold on. You might like this though. Cholula just released taco seasonings and two other actual roasted salsas on top of a whole new flavor with agave tequila. So much so that it has an ABV of 1.8.
No.
It came out 2 days ago.
Oh no, that's dangerous. Kilobait, she doesn't chase it with anything. It's just a straight up sandwich. She'll just eat it and enjoy it.
There's no fucking way. Oh.
But that's what I'm saying. Like those kind of fucking comments, those kind of tweets, I love to live for because I feel like
you get to know a person.
When I was on Twitter and I was streaming on Twitch mainly,
right?
Nobody really talked on Twitter at all. Like you followed big streamers, you followed your news streamer channels, whatever. You followed your friends, but nobody really posted anything except for a go live tweet, which was kind of like boring. Right. So like I never really used it. I started getting more into Twitter when I started like getting really into like doing TikToks, YouTube shorts, and that kind of content. I would post it on Twitter as well. And then when I started like doing my own research project on streaming on Twitter, I just started exploring more and getting more into it. So once we started making like the move to Kick, everybody was on Twitter for some fucking reason. Like it went from like being like MySpace dead to like MySpace thriving.
I would say that's a great comparison.
Yeah, because like there are like MySpace now, obviously it's a music sharing site or music site or whatever, promoting site. But like there was a point like when MySpace was dying and Facebook was kind of taking over is what it felt like before. And now coming in this whole new forum, it's like Facebook thriving like back in the day, or even MySpace when it at its peak. Like everybody's on there.
And I can tell you part of that is probably because one, Facebook is associated with the older generation now. Instagram is also associated with the older generation now because like my mom, my grandma, my aunt use it.
Oh, I don't know anybody that's old they use it. Actually, no, I take that back. I do. But it's also because it's bought and they try to share the two together, basically.
Right, and so that's why you do get content creators that are on the site and everything, and like it is what it is. I don't use Instagram nearly as much as I fucking used to as when I was in high school.
Oh, absolutely. Instagram kind of died out for me. I only use Facebook Messenger. I have my Facebook. I only use Facebook Messenger to contact like my mom or something like that because like I suck at responding to text. I do a lot easier with these messaging apps for some fucking reason. Don't ask why.
I use Facebook to literally just share memes that I find on there that are fucking either relatable or funny.
I don't even share anything on I don't share anything on Facebook. I'm like dead to the world on there. Like people still wish me happy birthday and like on my birthday I'll say thank you, but like after that I don't do fucking shit except for Messenger. Like most of my shit's on Twitter now. But back to like what I was saying was that like when Kick started like really thriving, I'll say like back in March, starting in March is when a lot of people started making that transition over.
Yeah.
Like Twitter world blew the fuck up, and it's because of Kick streamers, in my opinion. Like you had your content creators that would just do their normal posting how they would normally do, but more smaller creators and smaller people were being heavily active on Twitter, and Twitter was like the business ground for like networking, meeting people. I do whatever
think
it may
Ross
be.
Played a part in that one though, because he was using Twitter and TikTok only.
He's still on Hinge for doing that, but that's a different story. But back to what I was saying, like everybody was doing it. I was meeting a lot of people there. That's how I met. That's how I got like met you. That's how I met Chronic. That's how I met Vit and all of them and Debbie. Like it was all through Twitters and it was all through people like just following me or liking my shit, or I was liking their shit or following their shit, or meeting a friend of a friend and kind of getting through that. But it's wild because it's still like that, and I love the just eat that burrito. Listen, lad. But yeah, but even still, like it's like a breeding ground of like conversations, and I love that because I called March going into April, and even like halfway through April, like the golden era of Kick transitioning and Twitter. Like everybody was on there, everybody commented something, everybody was talking,
right,
everybody
like
was supportive.
unless you were in the conversation, then you're not going to be a part of any conversation since.
Mm-hmm.
Because but it's gonna be like trying to get back into that Twitch grind where all the partners, all the people are already established here. Now, if you try to come in, you're gonna be this far down from them, where everybody else is still about here starting out.
No, absolutely, and like. But like it was like I said, it was the golden era of meeting and talking to you. Like I still think we're in that golden style of era, but like that month to month and a half to I'll even give it 2 months. I'll even give it to like April, all of April. Like you met everybody on there. You saw and talked to them.
Was it you that had asked on Twitter, or you may have seen this? Somebody asked, "Is the hype for Kick dying?"
No, I didn't ask that, but I didn't see that either. But here's the thing. Which is actually a great question, but let me round out back to this one.
Yeah.
When I was on Twitter, like you'd always see people showing off their successes, supporting one another, and you didn't feel like a weird feeling at all, which is always a scary thing to me. Because like when everything seems too good to be true, my back of my brain's like, which one of you fuckers is like gonna do some stupid shit, right? And like I wouldn't say stuff kind of happened within that big circle. One big thing happened, but it was more recently, and it was the JD Giga Chat. I don't know if you heard about that story. Yeah, we'll just avoid that.
I'm gonna avoid it, but I'm gonna let you know. Jackie also got it in. Yeah.
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised how many more people are coming out about it. But still, like there were some people that were coming out as being like, I don't know, more about them than they are about people. Some people were just like getting real butthurt about the kind of support that, like it's a wild concept. And that's kind of what sparked this whole podcast kind of thing was that like I was seeing a lot of people giving their opinions on Twitter, which is fine. I love seeing opinions on Twitter unless they're really fucking dumb. That's a different story though. There are some dumb things on Twitter, and I'll explain more for
or a bigot. I don't care.
Like no, I mean if you this, I was gonna make a joke, but I was like,
oh my god, I'm so sorry. I just realized I've been talking with my mouth full.
Yeah, I don't fucking care. I know, said this is gonna be the most professionally unprofessional podcast right now.
I just completely fucking spaced on that. I'm so sorry, guys.
Yeah, Chad, just give him shit later. But like one like a stupid opinion. Like I had a guy on the food Twitter post I made. He was like, I want to make sure people understand that peanut butter and chocolate should never go together. My life's mission is to people know it's an abomination, and they should separate the two permanently.
They compliment so well.
Guess what my response was to that? I posted a GIF from Happy Gilmore where they were doing the quiz scene, and the guy was like, "I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul."
Yeah.
But like obviously like that's a joke of a like opinion I think is stupid. But back to it. But like a lot of people have been having their opinions. A lot of people being like almost butthurt at like what they think support is, a streamer isn't, and all that. Like now it's like I can't go past like 10 tweets without someone sharing something about the streaming world and how it could be better or it's worse or whatever. And I'm just like, oh my God.
You know what I think?
Like, don't get me wrong. I was also posting the same kind of shit. Maybe I'm in an advanced state of life, but like I still want to post the same kind of shit sometimes. But it's just like
it's jealousy.
I think it's a mixture of a lot of things.
I think a lot of it though is jealousy because I see a lot of people now get upset where they post, you know, or they're saying they're trolling, even though you kind of know they're not.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like if I got an online sub, that'd be fucking crazy. I can't imagine what that's like.
No, exactly. And like I said, I don't mind people sharing their opinions, but like when you read some of this stuff, Like even when I was posting some of my unhinged shit, some of it was like a part of like a hurt heart. Like I wouldn't say like I was all jealousy. Maybe it was just anger because I see stupid shit and people are falling for it, basically. But like
You play stupid
you can't
games.
deny. You play stupid games, you win stupid prizes.
My MTI told us that from day
Mhm.
one.
Yeah, and people are playing stupid games whether they want to admit it or not. Like then they're gonna find stupid prizes. Let them find their stupid prizes. Like it's gonna fucking happen. But regardless, people are sharing their opinions. I was sharing my opinion on what I thought was great for streaming. And then when I sat back one day, and this is what kind of like sparked the podcast idea. I was like, the content creation is not a straightforward fucking path. Everybody
No,
thinks they have the fucking key to the fucking castle, and they're trying to share like their tips and tricks with all these people and this and that. I'm like, no, 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 no. Content creation is not just streaming. It's not just X, Y, and Z. Everything is so fucking fluid. It is a goddamn ocean of a million riptides that still somehow work together.
and
And
I feel like to go with that, while you're saying there's no one true way to stream,
mhm.
there also kind of is.
What do you mean?
Going with the flow of it.
Okay, I see what
And
you're
that's kind
saying.
of what I've done. Where like, I never really thought that I could, I knew I wanted to do it and I started doing it as a hobby. And I realized like the old friend group that I had really held me back from doing a lot of this stuff. Excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't for a bad reason, but I decided that I needed to walk away from that group.
Right.
2 months later, I met one of my best friends that I've got right now. I could text him. His birthday's on June 16th, and I met him within 2 weeks after I stopped talking to him.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Life change,
the
dude.
2 months later after that, I finally made my Twitch. I got to
Mm-hmm.
275 subs before the kick switch, or
Mm-hmm.
follows before the kick switch. And even after I did that, he still hopped in there and he went, "Hey, I hope you're doing good. I see that you're doing good." Fuck, even some of my old Twitch family, like my boys on Twitch,
Mm-hmm.
"Hey,
Mm-hmm.
you're doing fucking great things on your channel right now. You're doing fantastic, and I love this for you." But the thing is I never let it get to my head because to me, I'm always still going to be down there because of the way that I was treated with my old friend group before. So I always still look up to like Tim. I still look up to even Chronic.
Mm-hmm.
I met him 2 months ago and he's, he had 1,000 followers on Twitch. Currently, I think he's at like almost 600 right now on Kick.
I think he is, yeah.
And I'm at my 174. I'm loving where I'm at. But the thing is, I'm happy with this because it's genuine. People are hanging out and stream. People are wanting to watch me play games. People are wanting to chat with me. It's not about me though. It's about being able to
Mm-hmm.
sit here and have that community have a safe space.
I love that. And like I said, I like how you bring that to attention about just you being you and meeting people based on you being you. And I love how your old Twitch family friend support group that is still supporting you is coming to you. Like when a lot of my friends kind of like were going over to Kick, I kind of wanted to do the same thing too, but I was kind of worried about just the growth I did over on Twitch versus how it's going to look like over here.
Exactly.
And the only thing that kind of stopped me was the judgment I was going to get for going to a different site. And once I made the transition, like once I just moved, I was like, fuck it, we'll try it. And if I ever don't like it, I can always go back. I'm not like losing my whatever.
They're still there. I go back
Yeah,
and check on it regularly because I mod for like, I think I have 3 different people that I mod for in their streams just because. And it's whenever I'm bored or like, if they're streaming at the same time I am, I'm still lurking in their shit.
Oh, absolutely. Like I will still go to the Twitch side of things, and I will still talk to the people I talk to. I will still hang out with the people, and I'll lurk for the people that I lurk for. But it's just wild how much almost vastly different it is being over here versus over there.
Because it's more positive over here.
You know what? I'm not even going to say that. I think there is a genuine positivity to it, but something that you kind of brought up earlier, someone posted on Twitter, is the Kick hype dying.
Right.
When we got here, everybody was super positive, and now, like I said, now we go to Twitter and like almost every 10th tweet is some kind of like
There's
just
something wrong
opinion
with
on
Kick, or is like this wrong with Kick.
or is this wrong with the streamer? Or we should be streaming like this or not like this and all
I've
that.
seen a lot of those too. What is something you want to see from your favorite streamer? What is something that you want to see a streamer do that would actually make you happy in chat? From a streamer's perspective, what makes you happy? What makes you happy that chat does for you? It's like, I don't give a fuck if you sit here and lurk. I don't care if you sit here and chat with me. I genuinely have no issues either way. But the problem is when you sit there and try to create an expectation, you will always be disappointed.
Absolutely, 100%.
You will always be disappointed because I've learned, and this is from a lot of fucking therapy, small goals set the way. And so it's like, you know, like I've been doing with my streams. I want to hit a 25 plus follower goal every week. I don't focus on, oh, I want to hit this number before the end of May. No, that's going to break at some point because I'm not going to be able to hit it.
Right.
But when I sit there and I go, all right, I'm at 100 subs right now at the end of, 100 followers at the end of April. I want to get to 125 by this week. I want to get to 150 by this week, and I want to get to 175. I'm at 174, and it's not even fucking Friday yet.
Let's fucking go, dude.
And I'm not trying to brag because I don't normally like to do that, but it's just as an example of like,
there's nothing wrong with it being proud of your accomplishments. Don't think of it as ever bragging.
Right.
Because you're not walking around like, ooh, I have 175. You're like, dude, we made it to 175. They're like, I can tell the difference. It's not bragging. Like, be proud of the achievements you fucking accomplished. It's hard getting some of these numbers. Because like,
and that's the thing is I don't have that. Like, I have self-pride in what I'm doing. You know, I know how to hold myself. I know how to represent myself because I was raised in that when you leave this house, you don't just represent who you are, you represent everybody in this house.
Right.
And that is the same way that I hold myself when it comes to the Discord that we're currently in, when it comes to my streams, when it comes to just even being with family and friends. Everybody that I truthfully wants to know about how my streams are doing, I tell them every week. Fuck, my uncle. He's only 12 years older than me. Joined the Discord last week. Has been in here almost every single night because he's just been enjoying the vibe. And he doesn't even smoke. And that's the biggest thing too. This Discord, it used to just be Chronix. It was his solo personal thing. And I don't mean to go off track too much, but
no, you're good.
But this used to be just his personal Discord. Well, we had a falling out with some other people. It is what it is. No big deal. I'm not even going to get into that because it's another whole fucking side story.
Yeah.
Long story short, me, Chronic, and Jackie. Chronic kind of came up with the idea himself, but he said, hey, let's do this, but let's do it better than they did.
Absolutely.
And let's do it as a more positive environment. Let's do it as a more inviting environment. And so that's why whenever, like, I don't know if you've seen the Discord recently, but like yesterday, all of, and this is kind of going back to that point about people that I want to know that from my past that are interested have seen the growth, because people that from 2-3 years ago that Chronic hasn't talked to in forever just hopped in the Discord and said, dude, I've seen your page and it's fucking growing. And it's because not only, and I don't think this is because of like, you know, just because of me or just because of Jackie or just because of Chronic, but it's a team effort. There's 5 of us all together that are technically admins, but it's because we're all kind of in that same headspace of, and this is what I like to preach a lot. While subs are great and the money is what is needed, I'm not going to lie to you. I am never going to have more than a 70-30 split on my fucking giveaways to the community, because there are things, and I've always been transparent like this with my chat, with my community. I have to pay bills. I have to be ready for this baby to show up. I have to be ready for the camper to come in whenever we sell this house. I have to be ready to be able to be a father. And I, you know, they are aware of that, but they support it. And then I give back with, you know, I gave away a copy of Jedi Survivor to my community the other day for 25 subs. 25 subs. And you know, at that point, it's the same price.
Basically.
You know, and I don't, and the biggest thing is like, I've told Chronic this, I've told everybody that I think I've told you even this before. I don't like to talk about money because one, it's the most evil thing in this fucking planet.
Yeah.
Genuinely is. It corrupts everything, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. It's just how I see it. And two, it's private. But I'm still going to be transparent about what's going on. If I have a $5,000 tax bill that I got to pay, which I do, that's what the money's going towards first. It's not going to go towards getting me new RAM. It's not going to go towards getting me a new monitor. It's not going to go towards getting me this extra shit that I need because I got that covered. I can get that with
Right.
my part-time job that I got right now back at the vape shop.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else that they give us is going into savings for the baby.
Yeah.
And they know that.
So let me ask you this thing, because like the heart behind what you're doing is perfectly fucking fine.
Right.
But why do you think there is a almost guilted need to talk about what you do with your money when it comes to streaming? Like I had the same kind of thing when I was on Twitch. Like when people give me subs, like I would always like hear people talk about giving back to the community, giving this and giving that, and I would feel guilty if I even just mentioned, "Hey, this is going towards my bills." Like this like I'm not here for the money, but the money is here to support me, and by support,
I don't mean to cut you off, but it's not guilted, I would say. I think it's more I'm aware of it and I want them to be understanding of where I'm coming from, and no one's going to have a true understanding unless you explain yourself, unless you explain your story. Because like the way that I've always, and I've learned this also through therapy, where I am a very transparent person. If somebody has to tell me something, unless they give me the, hey, this is how this is going to work for this day, and when we go on this time tomorrow, this is how that's going to work, and so on and so forth. I have to have a very detailed explanation of how we're going to be doing shit, or else I won't be able to make the connections, and my anxiety will go. My questions will start flaring up. My red flags will go up, and I'm sitting there and I'm like confused as to why the fuck I'm doing this shit, because I'll think it's a bad thing. And so I I don't want to look at my chat the same way that I look at myself, but I almost hold them to a higher standard, and so that's why I explain things to them so that way they can know where I'm coming from.
I like that.
So I'm never hiding anything.
So La has a good question exactly on our topic.
Yeah.
They see people talking about stupid sub goals for very cheap giveaways. Like somebody is asking for 100 subs for basically like a $25 t-shirt. And you kind of talk about like when you do giveaways, you have your set expectations. Like you know what you're gonna probably get, you know what you're gonna give away. Like you're not trying to be like, oh, let's get to this and I'll give you something from Streamlabs where you could buy for $20 instead of just giving you the subs. Like how, I guess how important is giveaways even really to being a streamer when you're doing giveaways and setting realistic expectations?
I think as long as you set the realistic expectation of what is going even further beyond. Ah! Donkey,
Damn.
thank you for the sub. Scared the fuck out of me, dude. That was way too fucking loud. Oh my god.
I thought you got paranoid for a second. I thought you were like tripping. I was like, oh fuck.
No. No, he just fucking blasted my eardrums with Goku for a second. Good god.
Dude, I love your sub alerts, by the way. Oh, come on, camera. Let's not do this fucking today.
But
there we go.
No, fuck, I completely lost my place.
We're talking about like when coming to giveaways.
Oh, okay.
I think there's for setting realistic goals and your thoughts on streamers with their unrealistic goals.
I think as long as you just tell them what is going to happen. I mean, look at what I did last month. I never, for my subathon, I had quote unquote set things for what I wanted to do. And it was more as a celebration, because it was the first month we hit affiliate. It was a celebration of like, oh my god, Kick is so much better than Twitch because of what it has done for every small streamer, not just myself.
Absolutely.
And like even this next month, I'm gonna be doing my subathon here at small plug, sorry, but
small plug
on the 21st.
May 21st?
Yeah, on May 21st.
You hear that, chat? May 21st, subathon.
And so what we're doing is, I was talking with the wifey about it, and she goes, well, what if you shave your beard? And I said, damn, I understand, but there's not going to be any incentive because people, they're going to be seeing that. Yes, it's still an incentive to see me without the beard. I understand that. but it's not like there's something that I can give back to them in that sense. And she goes,
True.
no, I understand that, but they also know how close we are getting to the due date for the baby showing up because his due date's June 18th.
Mm-hmm.
And so what she was saying is use this incentive, use up until 100 subs, do 25 subs for the right cheek, 50 subs for the left cheek, 75 subs
Oh.
for the beard, and keep the mustache.
Oh
100
yeah,
subs,
yeah,
100,
yeah.
and then 100 subs do this. That way my entire face is clear. And then, 125 subs have her put makeup on me. But then once we hit 150, I can sit there and go, hey, what kind of controller do you guys want? I will give
Absolutely,
away
because
a
you can.
because so and a lot of people are sitting there and I've been asked this before because they don't know that I can do this. I build custom controllers.
Oh, okay.
So I get the parts off of Amazon and the controller off of Amazon, and then I just ship it to my house. I build it for them, and then I ship it out.
It's not a bad idea.
And so one of the top one for the end of the end of the subathon, if we hit that marker, was going to be, hey, I'm going to give away this controller, but not only is it scuff quality or better, and that's not
Mm-hmm.
even like that's just me learning from what I've done and stuff, but it's $100 cheaper. I charge 170 versus the 260 that they do for their 4 paddles and mouse click triggers.
Yeah, yeah.
And I've just it's from and I've taught myself how to do it. I never used to know how to build a controller. I never used to know how to do this editing shit, streaming, any of it. But I feel like you learn through osmosis,
Mm-hmm.
and the people you hang out with, you also become yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like with going back to Chronic, we sit there and bounce ideas off each other back and forth, back and forth. He fucking FaceTimed with me today while we were both at work. Just to bullshit for one, and for two to talk about, hey, what are we doing this week for subs and community night?
Mm-hmm.
And so we're probably going to be doing a Saturday night fucking Cards Against Humanity with
Ooh.
drinking and smoking. Like you're more than welcome to hop in and get fucked up with us and get crunk. Like
Hey,
we
let's
try to
go.
do fun stuff. And going back to the whole community shtick of it, there's over 200 people in this Discord.
Mm-hmm.
We type in at everyone, and over 200 people plus whoever they want to share it with.
Mm-hmm.
Because not
Exactly.
not everybody has to share it, but say 3 people do. That's still 5 new people that are gonna hop in here and come check out what we got going on. And then they're gonna see, oh, even though they're stoners, I don't really agree with that, but they're still very inviting. They're still very welcoming. This is an open space for communication, for
Mm-hmm.
mental health. It's a good place.
Absolutely. Like when I first came into here, I even said like a small hello, and I think like 4 or 5 different people said hello to me. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, like get the fuck away from me,
Yeah,
back up. No,
because it's
fuck your
almost it's
positivity.
almost scary because like I was telling wifey this the other day, it's weird because I'm not used to being around people that have the same mindset as me
Mm-hmm.
because I've noticed there's mannerisms that my friends
Mm-hmm.
have picked up on that I've met through here and they're typically in the smoke session chat,
Yeah.
and they'll say things just like I would. They'll tell me, "Oh, I had this thought the other day and it was just like a thought that I did the other day." They'll say, "Oh, hey, what do you feel about this idea?" And I'm like, "Oh, that's exactly what I was fucking thinking."
Exactly. Absolutely.
And I feel like you build off each other. But without community, you can't do that.
No. Community is fucking huge, dude.
And
Whether it's small inside your Discord or just even the people
oh,
that you work around.
and see, one of the guys, he hopped into my chat, and he's hopped into the Discord before, and you may have seen him on Twitter. Izenk. He posted something the other day, and it really resonated with me. He said, "I'm not trying to build a community. I'm trying to build a family."
I like that. It was really funny. One of the things that we talked about in the podcast, I think it was kind of like in the first 2 episodes or interviews, was the word community. And in my opinion, and like hear me out, the word community is
Right.
so bastardized all over Twitter.
Oh,
Everybody's like
yeah.
community this, community that. Like here's the thing: there's nothing wrong with talking about community, but there's a difference between talking about your community, which like for you would be this Discord,
Right.
and then they're like the kick community. Now I hate when people say the Kick community. I absolutely fucking hate it. That's just a personal take for me. Because here's the thing, not everybody on Kick I want to build a community with.
No,
Like I respect that. Like you, if you want to do, you want to be a streamer, that's fucking fine. I may not like how you stream or what you do, but we're not a community. Like this is a, and I was saying the Kick universe, the Kick world, or whatever.
the subsections. There's the
Mm-hmm.
OnlyFans girls that have their streamers so that way they can get extra cash that way. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
not trying to call anybody out, but I've seen it on Kick a few times. There's the
Mm-hmm.
people that play slots and casino shit because that's all they do is they gamble their money, but they're having a good time doing it. And I can vibe with some of them.
Yeah.
But like on the other hand, with the OnlyFans people and stuff like that, I can't really gel with that. Not only because, marriage, but two, it's just not my kind of thing. I've never really
I
been
would,
interested in that whole sort of thing. You know what I mean?
I was Miss Darcy Diamond. I love her to death. One of my new favorite people I've ever met. We were talking about that. I was like, I have no issue with people doing their thing. Like if it's
Right.
working for you and successful, and it's like you're doing it right, I don't fucking care. Like Amaranth was one of the things I talked about. She loves Amaranth. I don't fucking vibe with Amaranth. Like she's not. I think like to me, she doesn't really have much of what I'm looking for or that personality of what I'm looking for. But am I gonna hate
Right.
the fucking person for capitalizing on a fucking thing? Fuck no.
No, she's getting her fucking bag, bro. She's making
bag
money.
with a S. She's with an S. Like there's probably like two S's
Yeah.
at that fucking point. It's so grammatically incorrect, she doesn't fucking care. But and like so I can't be mad. She's got her OnlyFans shit. She's got her Twitch shit. She's got everything else she's doing shit. So I can't be mad at the fucking grind. She's capitalizing on
No,
that
because
fucking
she's
shit.
grinding. She's fucking working her
Mhm.
shit the way she needs to. Like, and I've talked to Katie, wifey, about this, and I said, look,
Mhm.
even if you wanted to do an OnlyFans, I get it. Get your bag, do your thing, but don't push it so much to the point where that becomes your personality. And I feel
Mhm.
like that's where a lot of them, the hot tub bikini streamers or whatever the fuck you want to call them,
At least the ones
lose
that we
that
see on the front page, yeah.
right, lose that sensibility of humanity in themselves because it's like, oh yeah, I'm only here because of my OnlyFans. Whereas Darcy the other day,
Mm-hmm.
she seems as though, because I watched that interview, she seems like someone who isn't truly just OnlyFans, 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 OnlyFans.
Mm-hmm. Like she
Unless I'm
loves her
getting,
industry. No,
unless I'm
you're
getting it
absolutely right.
confused. Okay, yeah,
She has an OnlyFans, but she's more on the PH side of things more than OnlyFans. Like she has an OnlyFans, she has her camping site and all that, and she even admits like she feels like the camping site's like a chore. Like she loves the industry and what she does, and you can
right.
love that shit. But she's not like all up out here being like this is the only thing my personality is. Like no, she's also a gamer. She's also a mother. She has like and like I said, her passion is that
that's a grind in and of itself.
absolutely. Like she knows that her job is also her passion. She knows that streaming is also a passion for her. So yeah, she's getting excited about both passions, but she's much more than that. And that was like the reason I loved interviewing her because like I said, when I was doing my research, like I went to her website, I was seeing like all these different things, and I was like, okay, I obviously don't I've never been a porn star, I've never been an OnlyFans
Right.
person. I know it's shocking,
We've
right?
only indulged in the couple episodes every once in a while on a Saturday night, by ourselves.
Yeah. Or yeah. but anyways, but like I don't know what it's like to be the creator of content on that side of things. Like there's so many millions of stories from different people, and I want to get to know more because like when I talked to her, she was like, when I was growing up, this is kind of what I wanted to do. I wanted to strip, I wanted to do this. Like the joke, the ongoing like stigma joke is that like you start an OnlyFans because either you're trying to make your money or you're trying to make your way through college kind of shit, like stupid shit like that. But when I was talking with her, she was like, no, this is something I loved. I kind of grew up doing it. I loved doing it, and one of the things that was heartwarming for me was that like not only does her young son kind of understand what she does and what she makes money for, but he loves his mom no matter what. And that kind of love was and that kind of love was translated to her aunt. She went to go see her aunt one day, or she's driving or whatever, and her aunt was like, hey, I know you do this, can I see one of your videos? And she was like, what do you mean, like one of your videos? So she showed her aunt one of these videos, and her aunt, and like she was like, her aunt was crying because she was like, I wish I had like the comfortability and the availability to do this when I was younger, because like she was saying, like her aunt was very good looking, still is, but like we live in such a different world to where like this kind of stuff that was like demonized is almost just becoming not even a norm, but like accepted. And that's like
Right.
kind of what I'm trying to get back into with like just streaming is like Kick was such like a demonized. It's like, oh, it's owned by a gambling website. Oh, there's a 95 split, so you're only doing it for the money. Yet when you come over here, you're realizing that most of the people over here are not like money greedy people or gamblers.
No.
Like, yeah, you're gonna have those people either you don't agree or legitimate bad apples like we saw, with you know who. But it's such a different perspective, and like when being over here, you kind of almost have that stigma of what they see from the bad examples. So like when
Right.
I was telling a buddy of mine that I like at work that I went from Twitch over to Kick, he was like, "So you're just gonna go watch Pornhub all day, like Aiden Ross?" And I was like, "No, I mean unless I get paid for it, that'd be a different
Right.
story."
Like if you get paid for it, and that's the biggest thing. I mean, if it tells you anything, like you know how I may have told you this or you've seen it, but I'm a part of Regiment.
Mm-hmm.
The big it's if your
Yeah,
chat
yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
know or if like my chat doesn't know, it's the biggest esports team for active duty and military and veterans for the military in the U.S. And they've only been around for 3 years, but there's over I think 20,000 members or something like that. And so
Mm-hmm.
uh one of the actual regiment guys just hopped in, and I've been getting a lot more traction from them hopping over from my Twitter as well, seeing like when I post like a shaker bottle or something. But anyways, he just said Regiment has a member who actually has an OnlyFans where he posts family friendly content when it's a Jawa cosplay.
I love that.
You know, and
I
so
love
like
that.
that's one of the things where I get, it's silly, it's goofy, it's funny. People want to pay to see that shit. It's almost like a Patreon, but
I mean, it's the same thing. It just has a
right
bad stigma because the only thing you think about is like people
is
selling their nudes or their
yeah,
lingerie shoots or whatever. But even so, like I feel bad because like it gets such a bad stigma. Like anything adult entertainment, anything that has a bad stigma, I want to get to know. And that's like kind of like what the podcast was about. Like I jumped the ship over to Kick and seen all the good things about Kick. There's some bad things, but there's a lot of good. And people only see the bad, and that's what they get the stigma for. And like part of this whole conversation that we're also been talking about is just like the different perspectives and getting to know people. Like obviously after when I make the statement, I got some questions about the 420 life, but the
I
whole
do
thing is that
I don't mean
yeah,
to, but I do have a question about if we're going to be able to go into mental health a little bit too.
we will more than likely, yeah, we can
Okay,
definitely,
yeah, sweet.
yeah, I have no issue with that. Yeah, because like when it comes to content creation and it comes to doing any platform or anything like that, there's always going to be stigmas, there's always going to be different ways to do it. Like and we like wholesomely said like the right way to do it is just to be you and be genuine and just have fun with the ride.
Right.
But like even like so like every person that you talk on Kick has a different way of doing things. Like most of the people that I've talked to on these interviews is always talking about being genuine, being true, and just loving what you're doing. And most of
Well,
that is
and
is like
even on this end too, it says the number one reason I came to Kick as a viewer was because of no ads. As a streamer, it's the payout. Twitch is just too greedy for their taste.
yeah, and like I think one of the things that really pissed me off is when Twitch streamers will bash on people going to Kick like you're only going for the money. Dude, are
No,
you
you
fucking
you
stupid?
don't like people don't understand how much Twitch actually makes as a subsidiary of fucking Amazon.
Actually, they're actually not making money from Amazon. They actually
They're
cost
not
money. No, that's why Twitch Primes are going away.
really.
They Twitch Primes became a thing
I
because
haven't I
they
haven't
want
stayed
they
up on Twitch news lately, so
this news got leaked right before all the firings at Amazon happened was that they are actually costing money because not a lot of people were making Amazon subs. They're just recurring people, and so like these subs weren't making money because it was basically Twitch or Amazon giving away free money.
right.
So like they weren't gaining new subscriptions on Amazon. They were just giving away free money to streamers, which if at the end of the day you think that's horrible, oh my god, it's a big corporation losing money. I don't fucking care. But
Right.
the
If
side note to
anything, give
that,
me more, please.
yeah, exactly. The thing is that they were actually costing money because these Twitch Prime subs were not bringing in new subs
See, and
and
I
not
think
bringing in new
another thing
Amazon Prime subs.
I think that's another thing that Twitch has to realize that they're making a big mistake on. They're losing out on the small streamer and the viewer themselves. Not even just the small streamer, but just the viewer. They're losing out on the viewer because no one wants to sit through 8 ads in a fucking minute. or for
Mm-hmm.
5 minutes or whatever it is, and you can't skip through it unless you have a subscription. I understand the paywall there; it makes sense to me, but it also
Like
doesn't.
the only way to get through the ads is to not have ads. And if you're a streamer that doesn't have ads, you're either not an affiliate, or you're probably not doing it for the money, which I find hard to believe. Because here's the thing,
Right,
realistically, like, shocker to every streamer and content creator out there, just because we love our content doesn't mean we don't love the fact that we can make money from it. You
right.
can make money. You can love the
This
fact
is
that you
my
make money. Because
yeah, and like I'm gonna get
because
this is my
because
fucking passion. Like this is what I want to fucking do. And
and if
so
you
if
can
I
make
can
good money, why not do it?
exactly, if I can sit here and make the money that I need to, so that way he can fucking go to school and be happy and be at least, we don't have to have the best shit in the world. We don't have to have a five
Mm-hmm.
bedroom house with a pool and a garage and all this shit and the nicest fucking cars. I could give a fuck less about that. I'm not materialistic in the slightest. But as long as he's happy and as long as he's content, that's what I fucking care about. And
Here's
if
the
I
thing that
can do
I like to.
that doing my dream,
Mm-hmm.
bro, I'm gonna start crying because that shit it makes me emotional because of how fucking like how strong I feel about this.
Absolutely. And anytime anybody says I'm over here for the money or anything like that, I always say this: would you not like to make double doing the exact same shit? Like, what do you do for a living? Like, if you worked at fucking McDonald's
Thank
being a
you.
fry cook, wouldn't you want to go to fucking Burger King right across the street making double doing the exact same shit just with a Whopper instead of a Big Mac?
I saw this on fucking TikTok, bro. So it was one of the things. It was like a voiceover, or whatever. And it said, "What do you think has changed in the last 3 years in the American worker, and why why companies can't find jobs?" And it's because, and I can tell you this right here, I completely agree with this. It was COVID.
Mm-hmm.
And not only because of like the whole staying inside thing and the mask and all that, it's all bullshit. I don't care. Do what you want to do. Live how you want to live your life. I don't care. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you one way or another. You live your life how you want. I'll live it mine, and I'll still love you the same regardless. But when it comes to going back to work, and since things are starting to normalize out again,
Mm-hmm.
the worker is starting to realize that the job is a replaceable asset just as much as to the
Mm-hmm.
job the worker is the replaceable asset.
Yeah. Breaking news: most companies
And
don't care about your tenure.
right. And so that's the biggest thing is like, you always hear it whenever it's a job that like, oh, you should be fucking grateful you have this position. We got applicants lining up outside the door to take your job. Well, we've actually been short staffed for 3 fucking months. I find it hard to believe you're going to have somebody to replace me in this job, yet I can go make $17 an hour versus my 11.25 as a manager right fucking now. You really want me to do that? And it's as simple as that kind of conversation, And I'm not trying to be an asshole or anything like that, but it's being realistic.
Yeah.
It's a realistic expectation rather than an expectation that's overblown or something that's going to disappoint you in the long run, because you can sit there and realize, if I'm replaceable here,
Mm-hmm.
where else am I replaceable at?
Yeah. Like, most people don't have a job that they make good money and love at the same time.
Right.
Like,
It's rare that
like
you hear about it.
I make, like, I work for Amazon. I make decent money, and I'm proud of the money I make. And I'm in a position where I'm basically left alone most of the day, so I'm blessed with that. And if someone's like, well, if another warehouse came across, it was offering you double to do the exact same thing with the exact same tools, would you do it? I'm like, fuck yeah, 100%. Like, yeah, I would love to make.
Like
Like,
I
I
was
would,
fucking
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I was managing a vape shop for 11.25 an hour, not because I cared like about the money, but because it was something I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to do. It was easy work, and I was asked this. They're like, "Why are you working there as a manager if you're only making 11.25?" Because I don't care. I get left alone, like you said, for most of the day. If I'm sitting there at work and I don't have a customer walk in, what do you think I'm doing? I have my
Relaxing.
laptop. Well, either that or I have my laptop and I'm editing or working on fucking emotes and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Modding. I'm in the Discord. Like, this to me has no longer become a hobby. When I quit that job initially, I told my boss, I said, look, we may not be out of here yet. If you don't hear me call back for like, hey, I need a recommendation for this job or something, give me a call to see what's going on, because I genuinely care about what you got going on here. If you need the help, let me know.
Mm-hmm.
He called me back at the beginning of this month and he said, hey, you want to work 20 hours a week for me this month? We need the new manager to work up at the new shop. I said, yep,
Mm-hmm.
throw me in there. Not because I even wanted the money, but just because it's easier.
And sometimes like when you find a good job that you actually love to do, the money's not part of it. And that's like what streaming is. Like when you love what you do and
That's
you
why I
can
got
build
so
some kind
passionate about
of
it.
and you can build some kind of realistic revenue from it, like you'll work harder to make more money. That's not the hard part. Like Twitch, you do the same thing. What do you do on the same thing at Twitch? You grind for, you grind the follower goals, you grind the sub goals, you do subathons, you do whatever. But if you can make double that fucking money doing the exact same shit over here, you're doing the same passion, you love it, you still loving the grind. Why not fucking do it over here?
Right.
Like I get it if some people have like moralistic reasons for like the gambling part of it. Like I get that. But like some of the shit that people have been saying, like you're only in it for the money, bro. Do you like not making more money?
Well,
Like
and
I'm
that's,
sorry,
I mean,
like
going
I
back,
it's not all about the money, but like if
no.
you like it's about building opportunities. Like for
Well,
me,
and you say
for me
that,
at least, it helps build like community. Like you
right?
can do more things for the communities you want to do. You can start paying off the bills a little bit more that you want to do. You can start doing more things
One sec,
with the
love.
more opportunity. Yeah, you're good. No, you gotta do what you gotta do. Do what you
Oh,
gotta do.
you're over there. What the fuck? Okay, well just go around. You're fine. I'll come and get you on the other side. Okay. She's talking to me about the dogs. But
No, you're good. You're good.
no, I had something in my head. It's all good. I'm not worried about it.
Either way, but like going back to like just general just streaming, even like now, like the question that I'm gonna bring up like is 420. Like me and you, we both know we're 420 buddies. How like what has it been like for you as a 420 streamer being more what word should I say openly public about it? Like for me, like when I usually like do any kind of 420, I usually go off camera and I mute.
Yeah.
You're good. Do you need to go do something?
I just gotta tell her like good night and stuff.
No,
So I'll be
you're
right
good.
back.
Good. Do what you gotta do. I'll talk to chat. Chat. When he gets back, just put a bunch of fucking W's because this man is a fucking beautiful human being. Every chat, his chat, my chat, your mom's chat, not your dad's chat. Your dad's chat's probably watching some fucking sport late night right now. Oh wait, basketball playoffs are on. Chat. Does anybody know who's playing tonight for basketball, or do they just not, or do you not care about basketball? I mean, up to you. Also, side note for anybody that's listening right now, I forgot what I was gonna fucking say. Ooh, let me get a drink. Well, he's got. Oh god damn it, he just came back. Also, hey, what you doing on the desk, broski? You good over there?
Who?
You. That's how you go under the desk.
Oh yeah, I had to turn down my music real quick. I didn't want my mic to keep picking it up.
Oh no, you're good. You're good. You're good. Give me
I'm
like
sure it
two
wasn't even
seconds to.
coming, but
Yeah, give me 2 seconds. I'm gonna go get another drink. Give me like 2 seconds.
yeah, you're.
I should have done it when you were up, but I was too fucking. I'm not gonna lie.
I will watch soccer. That's about it. I mean, soccer is always fucking nice to watch. I don't know. I watch football too, but I feel like college ball is the one to actually watch that's enjoyable nowadays because the NFL is too political for me. There's too much. Either people are being conspiracy theorists about the refs, or people like to say shit. Like I'm a Niners fan through and through, but
Hmm.
that's about it. I'll support them through the fucking summer or through the fall and winter every year. CB.
I love football, but my team sucks dick.
Look at the
You
umbrella
still.
logo and the Walmart Spark. They overlay
Mm-hmm.
perfectly.
Yeah, they do.
Weird. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Walmart's umbrella court, man. But back to what I was saying. Um, being a 420 streamer, right?
Yeah.
There's always some pros and there's always going to be some cons. Like you meet some pretty cool people who are also 420 friendly. And I don't know about you, but there are some fucking weirdos on the internet who like just demonize 420. And
Oh yeah.
have you ever experienced that in stream though?
No. I've never had anyone give me shit for smoking weed on stream. But I think
I had
I genuinely
no
think
go
it's
go go.
because I'm open with it though, because
Hmm.
everything you see for my name will always say 420 friendly.
Oh yeah,
All my titles
I had.
for my streams, all my bios for my shit, like social media pages and stuff. It all
Hmm.
says that hey, I am a 420 streamer, just so you already know what you're getting yourself into.
Absolutely.
And if you don't vibe with it, that's cool, but we can still have a conversation. I'm not going to tell you this, you know, I'm not going to tell you which way that you should fucking lean on because you've got your experiences with it and I've got mine. But I'm going to tell you where I come from on it so that way you can have a better understanding of why I use it.
So 420 for you is not so much like a fucking tag. It's a lifestyle for you that you not hide behind. Like it's a part of your life and it's a part of who you are. And at the same time, it's something that you want people to know, more educated about. Like you're not gonna hide it. And if somebody asks questions, you're more than willing to talk about it.
Because I feel like a lot of people don't realize, like, even going back to Tim, you'll
Mm-hmm.
always see him say medicinal
Mm-hmm.
or something because he'll joke about it. But the thing is if you make light of it, it almost does help because you're not making light of it for a good reason. And
Mm-hmm.
I've realized that through smoking and everything, yes, it's the same as alcohol nowadays. I get it. But I've made more friends and better connections just even having this up on my desk because
Mm-hmm.
oh, it's so pretty. Oh, it's such a nice bong. Whatever. But they come in here because they're like, oh shit, it's somebody I can smoke with. I like his vibes. He's got, I usually typically play like lo-fi in here or something, or like remixes
Mm-hmm.
of some sort. I'll play country every once in a while just because it's what I vibe with. But
Yeah, makes sense.
I don't mind what I play when I play it, and people know that. They come in here knowing that I'm gonna do what the fuck I want. It's my stream.
Absolutely. No, and that makes sense. Like it's actually going back to being that genuine part of you. Like this is part of you. You're not gonna hide that you're not a
I
420
used to
person.
hide it too. I mean, like I guess I didn't used to hide it, but I used to
I met
be
some.
I used to be scared that it was a part of me because I would sit there and I'd be like, say I have a dab pen or something on me and I'd rip it real quick and then I'd be like, oh shit, throw it down on the desk. Or like
Right.
I would do this before where I would kind of slide away from the camera, hit my shit, blow it out real quick, and then come back. And it doesn't make it look good.
No,
Because
because you try to.
if you try to hide something, it brings a
Hmm.
negative connotation with what's going on.
Yeah.
Always. And that's with everything for me. And I feel like even though I smoke, I don't make it my personality. That's the biggest thing. I've always and see even CB agrees with me. You need to hide your 420 on Twitch simply because it can hurt your revenue just as it would on YouTube. But Kick is a company that
Hmm.
doesn't give a rat's ass. And that's the thing is I've had a ton more like just freedom being able to just smoke
Hmm.
whenever I want to on stream. Shit, even if I was to go on, you do my stream on Kick or whatever, and then take the clips from edit, like I'm probably going to for the interview,
Yeah. Yeah.
the thing is, I can't post on TikTok or YouTube when I have this in my hand
Yeah, because they'll demonetize it and like turn it down and all that shit.
instantly.
Because it. Yeah, because it's illegal and all that shit in a
Unless I
lot of
verify
places.
it as 21 plus US only and oh, what is it? There's one other tag and I forgot what it was. But I've also
But
realized
even then, that also, yeah.
on Twitch they never cared for me either because I'm medical. It's legal for me where I was at because I'm in Missouri. So I already, before it even went recreational, I was smoking weed on stream because I have my medical card.
Yeah. But without them knowing, they can't really advertise that shit. It's put ads on your shit. The states or whatever don't like it,
Yeah.
and that's like a huge thing. Is that like a lot of the things that people don't do is because of ads. Like YouTubers had the same shit, and that's why they have like sponsored streams. Like Twitch has the same stuff, and like not
And
you won't see a lot of very sponsored streams unless it's like video game sponsored or like Mountain Dew
well,
sponsored.
no, and that's the thing too is like even if say like I was to get like a sponsored stream of Stream Elements, right? Say it's like
Mm-hmm.
one of the ones that it's Marvel Strike Force.
Yeah.
You will never see this or my vape while I'm doing that segment.
Oh yeah, because you got to be a professional about it. Like you're not like gonna walk around just like ripping fucking doobies and be like, by the way, let's play some fucking Raid Shadow Legends.
Right.
No, you're gonna be professional about it. Like how Tim is also professional with all the stuff he does. But like at the same time, to you as a person, it's not your identity, but you also as a person, it's part of your life, and you're not gonna like be like pretend like it doesn't exist.
No, no, I'm not. Because you know what's funny is, and my wife Katie uses this example a lot. She goes, I never thought at 22 my husband and my father would be sitting there in the backyard smoking a joint together. I thought they'd maybe have a beer or two. But like, I smoke with my father-in-law on the regular. I'll come over there, and help him out with some shit or something, and we'll go down there for dinner or something. He'll be like, "Hey, did you get your shit today?" I wanted to check in because he's got some stuff going on medically with him and everything, and so he likes to.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, "Hey, did you get yours? Because if you haven't, I have stuff that you could use." And I do the same for him every time he comes over. Hey, did you get up?
I love that for you guys.
Did you get your drink today? Did you get this? Because I have edibles, I have my grass. I got stuff that we can use.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just because we have this mutual respect and understanding that, hey, this is what we have to do to manage our pain, to manage our shit that we got going on, but it helps.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like a lot of
Yeah.
people take it to the extreme where they're like, "Oh, let's smoke, let's smoke, let's smoke, let's smoke, let's smoke." I'll be like, if I'm doing a subathon and it's a hit every sub, cool. But that's
Mm-hmm.
why it's also an incentive on my stream. Like even right now, I got a ticker that says 1 sub, take a hit plus 5 squats.
Yeah.
Because it's not much, but it's $5 that I can use towards getting my medicine. To me, this is like my insulin for a diabetic. Not
Oh
because
yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
addicted, but because I can
But
only
this
take.
has you legitimately have a medical card for this shit.
Right, and the thing is too is I forgot if I said this because a little toasted or whatever, but
Yeah.
I've been gene tested to figure out what medications I can take, whether that's pain medications and mental health ones. I fucked up my knee when I was 20 years old while I was in.
Mm-hmm.
I went to the doc. They said, "Oh, it just looks like a partial ACL tear. Walk on it for about 6 months. Here's some ibuprofen and some water. Take care of yourself." Okay, whatever, cool. My sergeant comes back from his deployment. He looks at me while I'm walking, takes one step, and says, "You need to go to the doctor as soon as fucking possible." And I said, "Why?" And he goes, "Because you're dragging your leg like this." I would take a step, and then this would just kind of
Just move along. Yeah.
yeah, just kind of go with it. And so I was like, all right, fine, whatever, no big deal. I go to the doc and they're prepping me for my surgery to get my ACL replaced, right? Or fixed or whatever. He
Mm-hmm.
goes, "Yeah, we had to pull you into the MRI while you were under because we wanted to get a better look at what was going on before we went in there. And then when we did the endoscopy to actually look with the camera, I had to replace your femoral medial patellar ligament because it was like chicken shreds, your ACL and
Jesus.
your ACL, your MCL, and your PCL almost tore, but my MCL and ACL fully tore.
Damn. What the fuck?
And my patellar ligament, the one that goes over the kneecap,
Yeah.
was stuck between my kneecap and a piece of it that had broken off and went around it and was basically doing this every time I stepped.
Oh, that's gross.
So he did like 4 surgeries in like 4 hours on my fucking knee.
Mm-hmm.
And he told me, he goes, "Look, you're only 20, but the thing is with how invasive this is, you're going to be in some arthritis pain by the time you're 25. And I said, "Okay, what, like I'm 40 years old and it's going to be just starting type of shit?" And he goes, "No, no, 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 no. Like you've been dealing with it for 80 or 60 plus years."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, okay, cool, no big deal." Doing my thing. It's like a week after the surgery, and typically with like a full knee surgery, they give you a paralytic down your leg so that way you don't feel any pain. Well, they gave me 6 shots of it down my left side and 6 shots of it down my right side.
Jesus.
Right, so I have a very high pain tolerance. 2 weeks later, my paralytic wore off.
Oh no.
I took oxys, I took hydros, I took benzos. None of them
Mm-hmm.
fucking worked. I
Dude,
didn't
that's
feel a
fucking wild.
single thing from them. So, flash forward to about a year ago or so, I got gene tested. because of my mental health meds. There was only a couple, like
Mm-hmm.
they weren't working for me. I was having side effects and adverse reactions to them. I tried this one called Lamictal or lamotrigine, and ended up giving me Stevens Johnson syndrome rash.
Okay, okay, I know what that is. I've heard
The
that.
one
Yeah.
where the skin kind of starts to fall off after a while. Right.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
stopped taking that med, but it gave me tremors in my hands.
Oh.
Right.
So you're going from one fucking side effect to another because
Right.
you don't
Just
know what.
keep, yeah, I just keep
Yeah.
bouncing back and forth. And so I was like, you know what? Fine. We'll figure this out. It is what it is. And I found out that I can only take Advil and
Mm-hmm.
morphine because it's so hot. Morphine's such a high dosage of shit that it's just like, but it's because I metabolize these medications so fast in my body that, like, say I take a 1600 milligram ibuprofen, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'll feel it in 15 minutes. It'll be gone in 30.
Yeah, because you're going through it so fast.
Yeah. And so I talked to my doc about it, and they go, well, with how much caffeine you're drinking a day, because I only drink about 100 to like 200 milligrams a day, plus my mental health medication, which is a blood thinner as well, plus me smoking, which is a blood thinner also. They're like, we really can't have you take Advil. And so I was like, all right, fine. What am I supposed to do then? And they go, well, since we have your mental health medications figured out, we'll try this one. I was like, okay, cool. This is the one that I've been on for the longest time now. It's actually helping me out a lot in terms of regulating my shit. And
Mm-hmm.
uh, when they did that, I'm trying to remember exactly how it went down because it was almost like I started taking my meds and I started to get the weight gain as a side effect, but then I started smoking with it too. And I started to
Mm-hmm.
notice that not only was my knee feeling better, this was getting better too. Because it was still kind of balancing out what my medication couldn't.
Right.
And so, like, I asked and this is from VA doctors.
Mm-hmm.
They obviously don't agree with it
For reasons.
for reasons, but they said if it helps with your arthritis and if it helps with your mental health, why not use it? Because if my body's metabolizing it correctly the way it should, it's working. I mean, yes, you know,
Mm-hmm.
it is what it is. Like I said earlier, in 40 years, I'm the smokers on off when we were talking off stream or whatever with the podcast. That, you know, in 40 years, yes, my lungs are going to be angry with me, but as long as I keep myself in shape, I keep myself healthy, you know, I'm still doing cardio every day. I'm still running and doing stuff like that to keep my lungs healthy. I mean, you know, I have an inhaler to make sure that I use once before bed, once when I wake up, because I want to make sure my shit works.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a solid 2 months where I was getting a wheeze so bad that it was like I would wake up with night asthma. And it was because
Oh.
I was smoking religiously, almost like to about half an eighth a day.
Oh, Jesus, dude.
Yeah, I was burning through it.
I don't know how people can. I mean, I know how people can do it, but I.
Right. It was just because my tolerance had gone up. And so I was just like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm going to just start smoking as much as I can because it's helping me out. And I'm not realizing what I'm doing, but I'm just going through my stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It was also, I was using papers that weren't regulated by the FDA anymore because I don't know if you heard about the lawsuit with Raw in January.
Raw, yeah, that's fucked.
Those were the papers I was using. And that's when I first noticed my fucking wheeze.
And I bet you the same shit happened with my brother when he was having his like coughing fits and all that other shit like that.
I don't know if you'll be able to hear it, and I know it's not the best for chat, but a little bit of it.
I don't hear
Yeah. But it's right up in my bronchial tubes,
it. Mm-hmm.
and it's just a little bit. And you know, I can feel it, but the thing is it's so much better from what it was even a month ago because I'm back at, you know, I'm running again. I can't not. I have to be able to force myself to go to the gym or else I'm not going to be one in a good headspace. And
Mm-hmm.
two, my lungs don't feel as strong whenever I'm like that. If I'm stagnant not going to the gym, my lungs get so fucking mad at me that I will have to hit my inhaler after I walk for 3/4 of a mile.
Jesus.
Right. Which at 3/4 of a mile is still decent, you know, if you're walking it at,
Oh yeah.
you know, 12 minutes altogether for a quarter or 3/4 of a mile.
Mm-hmm.
where I don't hate it. I can do it. I don't like to have to hit my inhaler, but I will. So I go hop on the elliptical and I run a 6 minute mile and a half, fastest I've ever done in my life. And it's because I've been helping myself by using this to the point where it's all right, I know I need it, or we're on stream, we're having a good time, I'm vibing out, and I want to continue the party and continue the energy. I'm gonna chill. There's been
Mm-hmm.
times where I've greened out on stream, but you'll never see it because my back door to my backyard's right there.
Mm-hmm.
So if I green out and say like I need to go release what's in my stomach,
Mm-hmm.
it's out there.
Yeah, it's not on stream. You're not just fucking barfing right on
And,
front of
and it's
everybody.
not even like I'm using a lot of it at once. It's just because it hits me so fucking hard and I can feel it. Like all every once in a while you'll watch me kind of sit here and pause with myself and be like, okay, do I need to take in a breath of oxygen or can I still smoke? And like I'll sit there and I'll go and clear out the rest of it because I'll sit up and actually clear it and then hold it and then breathe out, but I'll do it slowly and you'll see my cough kind of come out because it's starting to get all the extra shit from the bottom that's old and everything because I've been working on it. And you'll see me go and then force it all out at once. And that's when you'll
Mm-hmm.
see it. It'll hit me. My eyes will get fucking red. You'll see my face start to get flushed, and I'll go right out there. And I'll
Yeah,
come back perfectly fucking fine, like I'm sober.
dude. I'm kind of glad I've only had like one green moment like that.
It's only ever
And
happened twice.
yeah, I think I've had like once or twice, and it was one of those things where it was like, luckily I wasn't streaming. I was all off stream, and it was just nuts. It's like you like COVID fucked me up worse than fucking smoking did for like coughing and gangrenes and all that. Like I remember I was playing a game midstream and I just felt it hitting me and I'm like I didn't take anything. I didn't even really eat much today. I'm like ah fuck.
That's
So
what
I
it was.
ended stream and I ran to the fucking bathroom and just projectiled it. It was fucking
Because it
gross.
hits sometimes just out of nowhere. And sometimes it's your
Hmm.
body saying, hey, we need to take a break.
We need to take a break, like right fucking now.
Yeah. Like, because for me, I'll be sitting there and I kind of realize, like, if my stomach's not happy with what I have inside of my body, the way that it typically forces me to get it out now is by coughing. Because I've always had that, where you get the little twitch in the bottom of the chin
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
because you see somebody else do it and you're like,
yeah,
I do it automatically from coughing. And so my response is I'll sit there, my stomach won't like it, and it'll be like I just smoked a fucking bowl and a half all at once. And I'll be like, oh, and I'll go into a fit. I'll have to mute my mic because obviously, you don't want chat here and all that stuff and everything, but you have to go out, you
yeah.
have to go do it to get rid of it.
Right.
I walked out there at 2 a.m. one night. I scared the fuck
Mm-hmm.
out of my neighbor because he was drinking and having a bonfire.
Oh no.
And I just started hacking up a fucking lung because it just hit me out of nowhere because my stomach wasn't agreeing with what we had for dinner or whatever. And
Yeah.
he goes up there, he goes, you good? I said, enough. He goes, you want a beer? I said, fuck it. At least,
Fuck it,
at
why
least,
not?
at least it's something in my stomach now because my stomach was completely empty.
Yeah. I think that's the hard part is that like once my stomach gets emptied, I'm like I don't know how my brother does it and how other people do it, but like when I get greens and all that, I feel worse than I did when I actually was, releasing it all. Like my body is just shaking. I feel just fucking disgusting. I don't want anything in my body. I just want to go lay
See,
down and just cry in a cold corner.
and it goes back to even the whole chat situation with it. I don't want them seeing it because it's you have a weed whiskey in Colorado.
Yeah, there's THC whiskey. There's THC vodka too.
Oh, chat,
THC gin.
we're doing some drinking streams when we get to Colorado. The fuck. Anyways,
Yeah, it's dangerous.
but like shit, my brain's trying to do the catch up word so I can actually remember what the fuck I was talking about. Going back to chat and everything, like if I'm gonna green out, I don't want them to know what the fuck's going on.
Yeah, I don't think I think it's one of those things where it's like you're still trying to keep a professional environment. You're trying to keep a good environment, and nobody wants to hear that shit.
No.
Like we know it happens, but like nobody needs to hear that
Well, and
shit.
typically, even if you see me like do this real quick, I'll go out there and do my thing, but it's more so it looks like I'm listening for something because I always have this ear cuff off.
Yeah.
It's always half covering my ear just so I can have that sound. You know, it blocks out the sound from the fan and it blocks out the music too a little bit. But this way, in case she needs something, or I hear the dogs bark outside, or I hear like a random fucking noise by the truck because we have neighborhood cats that are shitheads,
Yeah.
you know, I'll go figure out what's going on. So chat sees that a lot where I'll get up randomly and they'll be like, well, why are we back at the chair?
Cheer stream. Be right
Hey,
back. Heard
listen,
a noise.
my chair used to be the fucking favorite on Twitch. Everybody came to my stream for this fucking thing alone. And the only reason I can plug it in, you know, when it has a
It lights
USB,
up.
yeah, when it has a USB that works and it actually lights up and has different lighting demos and stuff on the actual outline.
Nice. I used to know a buddy who had a light up chair and all that, and I would always give him shit. But I
They're
was like,
fun, dude.
dude, I gave him shit because like anytime they got up, I was like, listen, I'm here for the chair, not for you. Get the fuck up and go away. Turn the LEDs on and make it vibe with the music, and he would do that.
And that's what I
He
would
literally,
do because I would get these and this to connect at the same time. So anytime music was playing, you'd see it fucking change color altogether. And it's like it's a club.
yeah, it was really funny. That like he's a 420 smoker too, and he was just like. He's like, you want to see the chair light up? I was like, I'm here for the chair light up. Play some of your fucking EDM music. Let the chair light up. Let your lights go fucking crazy. Go smoke your joint. Come back in 30 minutes when you remember you have a stream going on.
I mean, that's why I fucking have lo-fi playing because a lot of people come in here and they'll say, "Oh, I love the vibes. I love what you got. You know, I love the way your stuff looks." And it's
Yeah, it's not always hype, but you can always make it hype. It's relaxing. It's calming. It's not like in your face.
right. I'm not here to be this fucking over the top, like overly eccentric person that's gonna be, "Hey, how are you doing? I hope you're well," like a golden retriever.
Oh damn,
You know what I
damn! I
mean?
thought you were a
Because there's
golden
the type of
retriever.
people that are golden retrievers in the streaming world that are very like in your face. How are you doing? I hope like I'll sit here, you hop in, I'll go, hey, what's up? How was your day? What'd you have for dinner?
Yeah,
You know, because it's a normal conversation. I'm not gonna sit here and get overly excited for everybody. But unless my, you know, say my wife's at work and she, you know, I haven't talked to her all day, but she hops in. Oh,
mm-hmm.
hi, honey, how are you? Because it's something that's special. And even when people hop in that like I haven't talked to in a while, like that old friend of mine that hopped in, it was like, oh shit, hey, how are you? What's going on in your life? What you know, what's new? I haven't talked to you in so long. I hope you're well. My like everything's going because now I'm like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, you're
You're
seeing me
excited
do,
for the genuine.
you're seeing
Yeah,
me do better.
yeah, you're excited with the genuine connection because when you see somebody who connects with you, connect with like either your chat or whatever, you're excited about that. You're not faking excitement 24/7 to kind of keep somebody in there. Exactly. So while you take that bong rip, I'll set up the next question for you. So it was something that you actually want to talk about, and it revolves around like mental health. Like I'm a big advocate for mental health awareness. As somebody who's been dealing with that realm for over 10 years personally, like it's a huge heart issue for me. I always try to do I try to give the best advice and tips I can for streamers who deal with these kind of things, but I'm seeing a lot more streamers almost deal with a lot of mental health issues, like whether they're diagnosed or not.
Right.
I think there's always good mentality to work on whether you have an issue or not. And I think just, taking care of yourself, taking care of your mindset, taking care of whatever, it's very important. So when it comes to mental health for like you, what do you bring to yourself for mental health when it comes to streaming or anything like that?
What do you mean?
So like, for example, like when I stream and I know I have bad mental health days, like I will know my difference between when I'm having just a rough day and like my depression kicks and I'm not going to try to stream. Like one of the things I tell my audience or anybody like that, I say, hey, listen, if I'm down, I'm not going to fake it to just to make you happy.
Yeah.
Because I was talking to somebody, I was like trying to stream with depression to try to get better is like fucking around with a double-ended like sword. Like you're either gonna have one of the best nights and people show you love and support, or if nobody comes through, you're fucking even worse than where you were.
And either way,
It's a
you're still gonna
dangerous
feel
fine
bad
line.
about how the way the night went.
So either way, I tell people like you need to take care of your mental health. So even to the point of like setting a schedule and streaming on a schedule as best you can. Like I make it a personal advocate for me to take the minimum of 2 days off for myself. Whether I'm video editing, whether I'm hanging out in chat, well, I'm just fucking watching TV and not doing shit or playing video games in my free time. Like I get streaming is exciting and I get streaming helps make you money and you're excited for the grind, but you need to take days off just like any other pro athlete, just like any other streamer, just like
Right.
any other person. Like Tim the Tab Man, he's successful on YouTube, he's successful with streaming and all that. He still doesn't stream on the weekends unless it's like a special event.
Right.
And even then, it's like a hit or miss thing.
And it's always like a 2 hour stream on a Saturday.
Exactly, if that. Like even Nick Merckx is like that. Nick Merckx will have his days where he's taking a couple of days off. He's just him, the wife and the kid are going to fucking the grandparents' house. They want to take the fucking weekend off, or they're he wants to go to the fucking beach. He'll take a fucking day randomly off to go to the beach.
Yeah.
Like streamers, I think need to know the importance of when to take days off and take care of their mental health. So like for you as a streamer, how do you take care of your mental health, and what do you do to kind of like just be you taking care of yourself?
Truthfully, like I can't really answer that because I don't. I kind of go with it. Like I've learned, because I didn't find out I was bipolar until I was 22 years old or 21 years old.
Okay.
And the way that it's always been explained to me, through like my therapist, through, even talking with the wife about it and trying to figure it out, or like old friends that were in a different group than the other one that I was in that made me smoke with them. Come to find out, it was because they thought that I had something going on and they knew that smoking with them fixed it because they always put me in a better mindset. And it didn't really stick with me because I didn't think about it. When I was 15, I tried taking something that was going to give me a bad experience so I would do something that's not good.
Okay.
And I wouldn't technically be here anymore.
I get what you're saying.
That's when I was 15. Flash for 2021, I go back home and we're all hanging out in a group, all of us with all of our girls at the time. There was still even some extra boys that like were mutual friends between us, but we were all just kind of hanging out as one big party. I pulled, and it was 5 of us. I said, yo, you guys, that room now. And I pulled them in there and I go, look, I just found this out. I genuinely apologize for any way, shape, or form that I may have mistreated or made something misconstrued or done anything to offend any of you guys. And they looked at me and they went, dude, we knew. We're your fucking friends for a reason. And it didn't click with me until then that I was sitting there and I was like, oh my fucking God. They've been the ones that I should have been hanging out with because they understood there was shit going on. They related to me more than the other ones did. And I focused on the wrong thing at the wrong time. And so, I took that and I made a mental note and I was like, I'm never going to let somebody else dictate what I do because of how they feel.
Absolutely.
And or how I feel, because I take what I hear and I can go on 5 million fucking roads about why it would go wrong this way or why it would go wrong that way, or something's going to happen. And I've got this paranoia in my mind of like other shit that could go wrong. It happens all the time, and I'm gonna be real honest, I've never had anything negative happen to me with her. She has shown me unconditional love. She has dealt with my mental health. She has fucking helped me get through this much, and I could not be more grateful, thankful to her. But it's because of that, and because I'm so self-aware, that I sit there and I go, man, it'd be real fucking easy for her to just be like, you know what? I've been through enough and I understand. And I would have to sit there and be like, no, I get it. I'm not gonna push on this because I've been messed up at times in terms of things that I said, or things that I've thought or whatever, because I've thought about last November I had the same thought I did when I was 15. And it was 2 Novembers ago, because it was 6 months after I had just gotten out of the military. I didn't have a new job. I hadn't even thought about streaming yet. And my buddies at the time were being complete assholes to me. So I had no support system besides her. And she had just started a new job herself. So I was home alone doing my own thing, not really knowing what to do besides playing games and taking care of the chores around the fucking house.
Mm-hmm.
Had no real purpose. And then it just kind of hit me. And I was like, I've never gotten that low before, and I don't want to do it again. You know what I mean? And ever
Mm-hmm.
since that moment, I kind of took a real look in the mirror and I was like, no, I need to actually work on this and truthfully like get to a spot where I am comfortable to say I can do this. I can be a father. I can be a good husband. I can be a good person. I can be myself. I can love myself because and like CB says, of course I focused on the wrong thing. I wasn't in a stable mental time.
Mm-hmm.
Once again, last year when I was having when I was going through all this stuff, they were trying to get me figured out on medications. Nothing was working. I couldn't figure out why. And it was because I was still in a crazy mental state. I was
Mm-hmm.
getting so paranoid that I had to go check on her at work because I thought something happened. Like she had gotten hurt.
Yeah.
Like checked her location, texted her, she didn't respond because she was with a client at the time. And I freaked out and came up with a lie. I was like, "Oh, I just needed to bring back the keys." Because at the time I was like, "Oh my fucking god, I just did that."
Mm-hmm.
And so once we finally got me on and I will say this, I don't advocate pharma, I don't advocate for medication. You do what makes you happy. If you have managing tasks and you were able to take your mental health and kind of mold it to how you want to without needing the help from other stuff, do what you have to do. Great, good for you. But I'm one of the types of people that has to have that boost because my brain isn't wired correctly. I don't produce enough of the I guess it's valporic acid
Okay.
inside of the I don't produce enough of it in my brain to be able to actually have good mood regulation. So for about 2 weeks at a time, I'll get a man period where I'm actually fucking pissed off, I'm irritable. If I'm driving and like somebody stops to go 2 miles an hour on a fucking turn, I'll sit there and honk him and be like, "Yo, what the fuck, dude? Like, are we serious right now?"
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll go to work at retail and I'll sit there and fake a smile on my face for 10 hours, but I'll be just as livid because, oh, they really said it like that. Oh, they really asked me like that. Oh, they really came in here when they were fucking 21 or 20 years old and they have a day until their fucking birthday comes. Get the fuck out of here, bro.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
You know?
exactly.
And it's hard. It's hard to manage it. That's why I don't think I can really like
Yeah, I know.
give you
I
a
get what you're trying
concrete
to say.
answer because there's no true way to do it. Everybody has to, everybody who is
It
neurodivergent
has a different.
has their own
Mm-hmm.
set way of doing things.
Oh,
And for
absolutely.
me,
Like,
that's my talking with her, talk my therapist, and that.
mm-hmm. I think it's very important that you bring
And
that
stream,
up.
honestly.
Mm-hmm. No, that's what I'm saying. I think
Sorry.
it's very important that you brought that up because, like, you're right. There's no one key success to taking care of your mental health. Many things work many different ways for many different people. Like for me, I tried the medication. I couldn't fucking do it. It made me feel like a zombie. Like it was almost more like a mood, like a brain killer at that point. I started
Yeah.
doing, I started just smoking nightly because most of my issues were either because I was focusing on the wrong thing or my brain was just overthinking and I had nothing to focus on. So like when I'm at work and I'm working on work, I usually don't have an issue because my
That's
brain's
the
not thinking
worst
about
part.
that. If I'm not working on something at work, I fucking lose my goddamn mind. I will
Yeah.
go fucking find something to do even if I don't fucking know how to. But when I'm at home, that's my issue. Is that like I could try to focus on a video game, but if my mind is so just focused on whatever that one fucking thought is, whether it's like an overthinking, stupid remark, or my brain is just acting like how you said, like paranoid, and I'm like, why is this person next texting me? Why is this person not doing this? Or why am I thinking like this? Why am I like that? That smoking at night helps me just calm down, turn down that fucking part of my brain, and actually just get out. Like I don't need it all
See,
day. I just need it at the worst moments.
and part of like my therapists hate it and my psychiatrist hates it because I'm I don't want to say like I'm smart, but I'm very, very, very highly aware of what I have going on.
Mm-hmm.
And when I'm in that headspace, it's almost, and I don't want to say like, go into the whole multiple personality disorder and things like that, because that's a big there's a lot of negative stigmas with that. There's a lot of negative stigmas with bipolar. It's very, very, cut from the same cloth.
Yeah, yeah.
And I get these moments where I've started to notice I'm starting to become aware of when I switch, because I'll stop for a second and I'll zone out, and you'll see my eyes kind of go out of focus for a sec. My pupils will dilate, and then I'll go right back into focus, and it'll be like I'm a different person. I'll either be angry and get irritable easily, or I'll be like I am now, where I'm just chilling, having a good time. It did it
Mm-hmm.
earlier at the fucking class we were at. I was irritable as fuck. I was getting pissed off at the people that were driving at us before, like driving, before we got there. And then we were sitting in the class, and I completely zoned the fuck out. And then it hit me, and I was like, "Yo, I'm good." And that's even still using my medication and using, this. Like, I notice when I don't take my meds, my mood regulation, I stay in that angry period. I stay in those irritable moments for a hell of a lot longer, and I don't have that leash to be able to tug back and be like, "Hey, we're not fucking doing this today."
Mm-hmm.
I
I
don't
think it's
have
also
that. I don't have
important.
that mental block to be able to be like, "Yo, don't do that. We don't need to get into this today with someone."
But like I was saying, I like how you notice that you're starting to know more about yourself, and you're noticing when those switches happen. Like for me, like when it became like depressive episodes, or became like just like self-loathing episodes, like it was not so much like I couldn't get out of the shit I was dealing with, or it depends on what the shit was most of the time. But it was like once I started noticing the switch, is when I started being like, oh, this is what's fucking happening. I started noticing my own triggers and started noticing my own issues, but it also helped me be more helpful for my friends who deal with me and stuff like that. When I start noticing this stuff, I usually give like a heads up, like, hey, I'm noticing I'm going through a dark time right now. Like, there's nothing you can do. Don't worry about it. Like, I'm still gonna be here, but I'm just gonna be kind of like just XYZ. Like, I'm just gonna be either bleh, or I'm gonna be just kind of like
Right.
not want to talk to anybody.
And the
But
thing is,
being yeah,
you have to,
like
and
go
you
go
have to
go.
tell your support. You have to tell your support system what's going on too, because if you don't, how are you going to be able to get that external help?
Yeah, there's a big understanding of who you are, what you're going through, and then putting that vulnerability into your support group so they know what's going to happen. Because 9 times out of 10, your support group doesn't care that you're going through something. Like they care, but they don't really care. They're just like, okay, got it. We know that if you're really irritable or really whatever, we know it's not like you at us, it's what you're going through at the current moment.
Right. And like, so I've literally, this happened a month ago. I said, "Hey, I'm switching this medication. They got me going up a step. If I end up being a little fucking out of it, because I know I'm going to forget to take it."
Mm-hmm.
There was a 2-week period where I didn't take my meds at all, so I could
Oh
get ready to
God.
go up on it. And
Yeah.
so I was like, "Yo, I'm getting ready to go on this new medication tomorrow. If you start to notice a change in how I'm acting, please let me know, because I need to have that feedback." And they go, "So that's why you've been an asshole the last 2 weeks?" That makes sense, because before
Yeah,
that,
that
I
makes more sense.
never told them. I was like, "Hey," I told them, I was like, "Hey, I'm bipolar," but I never said I was on meds or anything, because they thought I was just
Right.
handling it okay before. And then I just turned into
Right.
a complete fucking dick. And
And you're like, what the fuck is this?
yeah, no, it would literally be shit like that. Like, they'd get mad at Call of Duty over something stupid, like, "Oh, I missed a couple shots," and I'd be like, "Well, yeah, hit your fucking shit. I don't understand why you're missing stuff right now, because it seems like when you're looking and eating your fucking monitor that you can sit there and see how far from the motherfucker. Shoot him."
Yeah, I could
And it's
definitely
just
tell.
pure
Like,
anger. It would just be pure anger at him. But I have to sit there and be like, "Yo, that's not who I am." And there's been, and honey, I know you're watching. I love you. Hi. I don't mean to say this from a guy's, thing, but when women are pregnant, they're more hormonal, right?
yeah. It's science, yeah.
I don't produce the correct amount of hormones to help me mood regulate. So when she's
So you go
angry,
on, you're gonna go kind of like on the same swing of things.
yes, because we're always been that relationship where like you see us and we're either matching energy or matching personality for the day.
Yeah, I feel
And
the same
and
way.
like
I felt the same way when I was married to my wife. Like anytime she was kind of depressed, I kind of like mood swinged with her, or anytime she was angry or
because
happy,
it's
I was.
that support,
Mm-hmm.
regardless of it being, support or not, you still have enough empathy for the person that you're with to be able to sit there and be like, okay, you're going through this. I'm going to go through this with you to be able to help you out.
Mm-hmm.
And so it became really hard to where I was having to mood regulate on top of her doing it. And it felt like I was shutting out her emotions because she would sit there and, tell me how she really feels. But when I'm in that angry and fucking, not me spot, I know it's the other half of my brain kind of taking control and I'm looking through the telescope type of shit, but it goes in one ear and out the other. And I won't remember the
Yeah.
conversation. I don't remember what she said. I don't remember what I said until I come back and then she has to say, "Hey, this is what I was trying to explain to you. Now that we're both calmed down, let's have a conversation about what's going on and build from this." And
Yeah.
that one to me,
Absolutely.
I was never raised in that. It was we argued and then we acted like nothing ever fucking happened within 20 minutes.
And then whenever the next argument happens, it's just like one of those roller coaster things. You just argue, move on, argue, move on.
Exactly. I was raised in that. And so my bipolar would flourish because my fight or flight response was always fight, 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 fight with my dad. Always.
Mm-hmm.
And so it got to a point where like I'm sitting here now trying to have this healthy relationship and stop generational trauma and all this stuff. And it's made me do a lot of like I don't know what the word is, but recollection of my relationship with my parents growing up
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of memories that I didn't realize were still there. And so I'm kind of taking that and building it into how I'm going to parent because I need the ball to stop rolling here
Mm-hmm. I
with
get what
me.
you're saying. Yeah.
And I already know because I've been diagnosed now, he's more than likely going to have the same things happen to him as well.
Yeah.
So
That was the thing for
mentally,
me.
I already have to be prepared for that as a parent.
Yeah, that was the same thing for me. Like my dad was diagnosed with bipolar and schizophrenia. My mom was diagnosed with depression, and when I went to go to the doctor, they're like, "Hey, by the way, you probably inherited this from your parents." I was like, "Oh, those fuckwits! Be happy next
Right.
time, then make me."
And that was the thing
But
is
it's
like my parents they never got diagnosed, so we didn't know.
right.
I mean, and
Like,
so that's why my dad's like, he called me when I first found out, and he goes, "I never did anything, did I?" And I had to sit there and bite my tongue because I knew he felt guilty. I knew he did, but I wasn't gonna sit there and belittle him for it because he knew what he did was wrong, and that's all that I needed to hear.
hmm
You know what I mean? It was almost like
yeah,
a come to Jesus moment where like
yeah.
he kind of like, "Hey, I understand what you're going through. What can I do to help?" And ever since, my dad's been my best friend. I mean, we used to do this when I was in high school, but ever since I, had that conversation with him, he's been straight up my best fucking friend.
Dude, I love that for you. I really do. Like it's that was kind of like the same thing with my brother. Like me and my brother, all through our life, we just were fucking button heads at everything. Like he wanted nothing to do with me. I wanted nothing to do with him. And after when I came back from college and he kind of did his own shit, we kind of got really fucking close out of nowhere. Like I went through a so like before I okay, so like timeline. When I was in college, at my last year of college, I was engaged to a lady, and a month before the wedding, she called off the wedding,
Oh,
and it sent me through one of the worst fucking spirals of my life. So when I went back home, my brother really sympathized with me, really helped me get back on my feet and all that, because he knew all I was trying to go through and what I was doing, and even to the point where I got back on my feet, I found somebody that I love, we married, and now we're divorced and kind of separated and all that. Like side note, my ex-wife, still I love her to death. She's an amazing human being. We were just going through shit at different times, and I couldn't handle my own shit, and
Hey,
I couldn't handle relationship.
hey, that's the thing. Shit happens.
Shit
But the
happens, and
good
it like
thing is, you were able to still keep the relationship good in the long
as
term.
best I can. Yeah, like there's still days where she's like, "You fucking idiot," and I'm just like, "You're right," but yeah, because I'm not gonna fight with a woman. I'll never fight with a woman. But
No.
long story short, like even going through all this stuff, my brother has always been there for me and helped me through it. Whether it's financial, whether it's emotional, whether it's just being a guy or being a friend or whatever. Like he's always been there for me, and I've always been there for him when he's always needed it too. And I remember I joked around with him one day. I was like, "Why weren't you like this like when we were fucking younger?" He was like, "Why weren't you like this when we were fucking younger?" And I'm just looking at each other like, "Oh, good point."
Yeah.
But like
You
I
don't
said,
really
like
realize
just
it
those.
happens until it's happened.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like it's one of those just like drastic 180 shifts for both of us, and we're just looking at each other like we're brothers. What the fuck are we doing? Kind of one of those moments. But like the same thing with you and your dad when you were going through your stuff and you were realizing more about yourself and stuff was coming to light. Your dad kind of had, like you said, that come to Jesus moment where he's just like, I need to be more like a father right now, more than anything.
Yeah.
And like like I said, there's never a time like it sucks that it was never sooner, but it's grateful that you have it now because you can enjoy the moments now, you can capitalize on those moments now, and then when your child comes into light, hopefully you can be the same thing your father is now to you, to your child, and your grandfather
Right.
can be even more to that to your grandchild.
Well, and that's the thing too, is like, he's already got himself being called Lito for Abuelito. Like he's already in the headspace of spoiling this fucking guy. And like my mom goes to work conferences every year for her shit.
Hmm.
She's a nurse. She's a NNP, so she's the step up
Yeah.
under a fucking teaching doctor. Well,
Yeah.
they got back from fucking Hawaii, where
Hmm.
her work conference was from 8 to 12
Hmm.
for a week and a half straight. Every picture I
4 hour.
saw of my father, he had a fucking drink in his hand with a shotgun on the other one.
I would fucking love that.
But, you
Oh my
know,
gosh.
they send this,
Oh, that's adorable.
and this
Oh, the matching. Oh, that's fucking great.
with one for dad
Ah, yes.
because
Yes.
next year we're going to the Big Island as a family.
Oh, that's beautiful. I love
And
that.
so I told my dad, I said, "This was your way of getting back home, wasn't it?" And he goes, "What do you mean?" Well, my mom sent me a thing for the baby shower or whatever. It was a bunch of clothes and all that shit for him. All Spider-Man shit.
Oh,
I was
spoiling
I
the
was
shit out of him
given
already.
I was given a Spider-Man blanket when I was 3 years old. It was for the release of Spider-Man 1. I still have it. I still sleep with the fucking thing today. It's my pillow because it actually supports my neck.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
They sent me not only a little like Spider-Man onesie with shorts and a bucket hat for the summer,
Mm-hmm.
but a blanket, a fleece blanket like the super soft ones of
Mm-hmm.
Spider-Man with a little note that said just so he can match with his daddy.
Oh,
And
that's
it didn't hit me, but
adorable.
I was like my mom sent that. I didn't think that she ever like thought about it that much or thought that I, want like still had this or whatever. And um I was sitting there, talking with my mom about it more, and she goes, "Yeah, we wanted to surprise you with that because I remember when you left for to go to your first base, that was one of the first things that you grabbed without realizing to put in your backpack because my grandpa gave me it. It's the way when I was
Mm-hmm.
4.
Yeah.
So I was sitting there and I was like, okay, I'm gonna cry now. Thanks, mom. Fuck you.
Thanks, Mom. I love that. I love that your family has really come together through all this, through what you've gone through, and has just been
Right.
like constant support for you. And like how we were talking about mental health earlier, like how your wife is a constant support for you, how you're still learning more about yourself, and you know to the point where like, yeah, I need meds, but I'm not going to force people to take meds. I like the marijuana helps me, but I'm not going to force people marijuana down their throat about mental health. But you've taken mental health as not only as a self importance for yourself, but for the people around you as well. Because like
I
it's
think
easy to focus.
think awareness is what matters.
I think
Genuinely.
more people being
I feel like aware. Go ahead. No, you're fine. I didn't
no, I
cut
was
you
gonna
off.
say no, you're fine. Like awareness is important, and like it's not even just like self awareness; it's support awareness as well. Like how we were talking about, like it's easy for us to go through these things, learn more about ourselves, and try to like fix what we can to either like fit into society or just do better
Stay
as a
in
general human being.
survival mode.
Basically,
That's what
yeah.
my used to call me. They said you stayed in survival mode for 21 years and now you're having to retrain yourself with someone who genuinely cares about you to learn how to not fucking do that.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm still, I'm in here for fucking 10 hours of the day. And she asks me, hey, can you come hang out for a little bit tonight? Hey, can
Mm-hmm.
you come lay with me in bed tonight? You've been focusing on this a lot. And I sit there and, to me, it's, hey, I'm sorry. I didn't realize this. I've been putting so much time into this because I'm treating it like a job right now. And it's, it's still a passion or whatever. But I sit there and I go, it's not me forgetting that you're here. It's not me forgetting that, like, oh, I can, be independent. I can be single. I can support myself, whatever. It's, I'm still in that mode of when I'm at work, this is my job. This is what I'm going to focus on. I'm not going to be focused on what my phone's got going on. I'm not going to be focused on what the outside world's going on because I'm so locked in that, like, it's almost like the outside world doesn't happen for me.
Right.
And son of a bitch. But I lost my place again. Fuck. Hi.
You were talking about how like you're not forgetting about your wife. This is like you're treating this as a job, but you're not neglecting her at
Be-
all.
because she understands that even though I'm going through shit, even though I've been, trying to learn, I'm still very independent and I still have a long way to go. But she knows that that's not all that I am. She knows that that's not where my mind is. She knows that my mind is focused on him and him alone on top of her
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because there's other shit going on. Like, we're trying to plan a move 10 days or selling the house 10 days before his due date to then stay at her parents' house for a month and then move.
Right.
So like there's a lot of wheels that are supposed to be turning here in the next month or so. And that's kind of why I've delved into this so heavy, is because it's like, yes, I'm trauma dumping a little bit, but it's also giving explanation as to like backstory, what's going on in my life, things that
Mm-hmm.
people can look at, relate to, understand where I'm coming from on it, and be like, you know what, he's got stuff going on. I can sit here and enjoy what he's doing because
Yeah.
he's bringing awareness to it. Because I feel like if you don't, how are
Mm-hmm.
you going to get the help that you need?
Absolutely. Like the only way to get help is you can't even do it on your own. You got to just speak up. Like the thing I keep preaching
Right?
like
Because
nonstop.
you have to get out of that survival. You have to ask for help
The thing
or
I keep
find
the thing
other
I,
survivors who are willing to help.
yeah, the thing I keep preaching like nonstop, like it doesn't like you can be independent, but you got to know when to ask for help. Like we are not meant to do life alone. If you were meant to do life alone, you would fail before you even hit like fucking puberty. You would
Yep.
fail instantly. Like
Yep.
whether it's friends, whether it's family, whether it's whatever kind of support you got, you are not meant to do this alone. Like you can still have independence. You can still do things on your own and have that self pride of self independence, but you need to know when to shut the fuck up, take whatever your pride you have and put it away and do whatever shit you got to do, whether it's physical health, mental health, emotional health, reaching out, getting advice or assistance, like just like doing it by yourself because you're too afraid to ask for help or you're too independent is self-sabotage in my opinion. Like you're just
No, and that's
asking
the
to make
biggest
things
thing
worse.
too. when you're so self-aware of it, it's very hard not to self-sabotage because I sit there and I'll, when I get in those moments where I'm angry and I'm sitting there arguing and I say the wrong thing, I'll instantly be like, "Oh my fucking god, what did I just do?" Back up, try to fucking pull away from it, and it'll just make it worse because I'm like already sitting there. I will think that she's feeling a certain way on what I said, even though she
Hmm.
understands that that's not me, and I'm putting how
Absolutely.
I feel projected towards her. And a lot of people don't understand that part. When you get upset and you have things going on, you typically project how you feel onto another person, especially if you're anxious and they're quiet. That's my biggest
Hmm.
thing that I have an issue with. If people are quiet, I tend to think that they're quiet because of me, because I'm too much, because I have, too much shit going on. And it's because I'm worried about myself and I'm imprinting that onto them, even though they could have nothing to fucking do, no thought in their mind about, oh hey, I don't like him. And that's where a lot of people's relationships, either with friends, with family, with their significant other, can get really messed up because they'll start to imprint how they feel onto them, and then the other person will start to believe that.
True. Very true.
And one of the hardest things that I kind of like did, that I had to like lock in on, I started to get so down on myself that I told her, I was like, look, I hate myself. And this was back, a few years ago before everything went down. But I was like, I physically am not happy with who I am because I know I'm being an asshole right now. I don't know what's going on. This was before I got diagnosed. But I'm not who I am. This is not me. I don't understand why this is happening and I don't like it. And
Hmm.
there was one really bad episode where we've never physically fought, we've never had anything thrown at each other, we've never done anything like that, but I got so mad I had punched one of the doors or whatever, and it's a 1950s house, and so it got pretty messed up. My hand went through it. Well, at that point I was in a blind rage. This was back when I was having blackouts because I wasn't medicated. Like, I was completely not paid, like not there. And I slammed the door one time, and it was about this far from her. And I opened it and I turned around and I was like, and I kind of had like a weird switch in my head real quick because I looked at her and it was still in a very angry voice, but I said, "Do you ever think I would ever physically fucking hurt you like this?" And she said, "No." And at that point, it kind of set me into a whole spiral because it was like she wasn't scared to help. She wasn't scared to provide that support that I needed at the time and still do need to be able to survive as a person. Because now I don't know what I would do without her because she's been my rock for so long. She's been my support. She's been able to sit there. She's the only person who understands me truthfully more so than I do. I'll sit
Right.
there and I'll have a certain look on my face, or I'll like twitch a certain way, or like I'll be sitting there and I'll kind of get my tremors in my hand because I'll start to freak out a little bit because I can tell when I'm starting to. And she'll go, "Hey, are you okay?" Or like when I, walk out there and I'm irritated about whatever happened in here, and she goes, and we're about to have an argument or something, say that she said something wrong, I mishear it, and so I misconstrued it in my mind because I'm already in that headspace, and I'm like, well, what the fuck are we talking about here? Because this doesn't make any sense. Say, go turn around and walk away because you need to take a breath so you can get your head straight before we have a conversation about what's going to go on.
Hmm.
And it kind of gets me in that, like, oh, almost like a little kid, like, oh shit, fuck, I need to go fix this. And so I'll kind of go back and I'll sit there, gather my thoughts, figure out, I'll actually take the time to sit there and be like, all right, this is why I'm thinking this way. This is how this could have been misconstrued, but this is what's actually happening. Now, how do I sit here and understand from her perspective what's going on? And then I go talk to her to give her my
Hmm.
understanding of how I saw my side of things. And without that communication, nothing's ever going to change. I'm not going to get better, and she's not going to have better ways of understanding what needs to happen. This is an ever changing thing because mental health disease is stay with you for life. And mine kind of ever evolves because it's found new ways to either convince her that, you know, I'm angry for whatever reason, or I'm just going to be like this from now on. And I don't want that because I'm getting smarter about diagnosis, so it's getting smarter about ways to fight back. Because while
Mm-hmm.
you do that research, you look at both sides. There's always a positive and negative side on any research paper for a mental health disease. And so you'll look at those and it's like I'll read them and like learn new ways to figure it out, but then the old shit that I don't need anymore will come back with a vengeance and be turned up to.
Yeah, no,
And so
you're
then I
you're
have to
right.
go back and backtrack and then work on it again. So then I never, I'm always consistently working on myself to make myself feel better. And happiness is a concept. I'm I'm happy because I'm content. I don't, like I said earlier, when I was getting passionate about everything that I got going on. I could give a shit less if we live in a mobile home and are eating peanut or bologna sandwiches and living in the sticks. As long as I'm happy and I have my family and they're happy, as long as they're content and there's no
Mm-hmm.
disillusion, I'm good.
Yeah, no, no, you're right. Happiness is a concept. Like it's easy to be happy temporarily for whatever reason, but true happiness is being content with what's going on around you and content with what you have going on. Because it's easy to be negative and be like, oh, we should be here. Oh, I wish we had this and wish I had that. But being truly, or I'll say like this, to be able to count the blessings that you have and truly like hold on to them for what they are is the key to thing, because you can always find something that's going to be down. You can always find something that's never going to be like you're happy with, right? But it's so hard to take the things that you have right now in front of you to really be truly happy with, because like I said, you always see the
And
bigger better things.
and that's the thing. When we first tried to sell the house back in February, it was almost like it was too good to be true because it wasn't. So we had gotten a full offer for the house, exactly what we were asking for. They didn't want us to pay closing costs. They even put a deposit down. We do
Damn.
the inspection. Yeah, we do the inspection. It was like 2 weeks after we fucking listed the thing too. And
Mm-hmm.
the inspection comes back, everything's fine at first. Well, about 2 days later, we hear back and they're like, hey, there's too many little things wrong with the house.
Mm-hmm.
When really they were just looking for a reason to back out because there was some other things going on that I would have to talk to you about off stream with neighbors.
That's fine. That's fine. That's fine.
And so I was like, you know what? It is what it is. But since our minds were so focused on that closing date, by the time it showed up, it was kind of messing with us both because when that date hit, it was like, fuck, we were supposed to be already in Colorado right now. Our minds were no
Right.
longer in this town. They were already where they needed to be in Colorado. So us being here was causing us to be even more depressed, even more angry because of us being stuck here because it felt like we were. There was nothing. There was no change. We had got hit with a $2,900 furnace bill because our furnace just went out this last winter, and there was
Mm-hmm.
a lot of things that were going on because we had to replace the furnace. The tax day just came up, and so it was like, how are we going to pay all this shit? How are we going to do all of this stuff? Because we don't. We were supposed to sell the fucking house, and it continuously kept going down and down and down. And since then, it kind of brought us closer to where we can, we'll get angry with each other, we'll argue, we'll have our days where we nitpick shit. It is what it is. Every couple does. I don't care what you say. No couple is perfect.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
But now that we can have conversations based off of us going through something the way we did together and build off of that, it's not only helped me deal with a lot of trust issues that I've had because of other shit that's happened in the past, but it's also helped her understand I don't have to worry about as much because he's kind of taking care of things.
Absolutely.
And now that I'm starting to take care of stuff, she's able to focus more on her mental health again because she doesn't have to worry about me.
See, but you play while you're getting your shit together and helping her help out. She's also like when you're down, she's helping you out. It's an ebb and flow of both, helping each other out. Because not only are you,
Right.
like I said, you have your issues with mental health because you got diagnosed with stuff, but even if she's not diagnosed with anything, she still has a mental health. And while now that you're on your kind of like your feet, kind of get your shit back together, she can kind of recoup and kind of get back on her thing. You can help her out. It's a give and take.
Right. And you know, because everybody's always like, oh well, you know, like I said earlier, with her being pregnant, how, you know, how do you guys balance out the hormones? We really don't. You know, if we argue, it's, we both know what's going on. By the end of the argument, we sit there, we come back, and yes, we're upset with each other, but that doesn't mean we don't love each other any less. You know, and
No.
I've said things where, you know, I've said I'm going to go back to Washington because I don't think I can do this any, like, you know, it's because I get in my head so bad because I've had this mental health where I'm like, I'm just going to self-destruct and I'm going to ruin everything that I possibly can because it's the easy way out. It's not fixing
Mm-hmm.
shit. It's not working on shit. It's just getting out. And to me, it's the same as this. And that's why I have this on here as a constant reminder, because I got, this was my first one. It was a stick and poke. It was when I was 17, and it was because my best friend, I had walked in on him the day after,
Mm-hmm.
and I was the one that saw it. So there was a lot of shit that had went down that had brought me to this point, and like you were saying earlier with my family, they've kind of come together. All throughout my life, I've always heard, "Oh, you're such a fighter. You're such a fighter." You, because I was born at 28 weeks when I was born. My mom had preeclampsia, and it was either going to be her or me, or we both died. We both survived. So I'm their miracle baby.
Mm-hmm.
And I was always told, Mace, you're here for a reason. You fought for a reason. You fought for a reason. You're doing this. You know, you're supposed to be here for this. I never understood what that point was. But now that you've said that, it almost brought clarity to my eyes of like, maybe that's what it was for. I was supposed to show my parents what it's like so that way, one, my little brother can have a better life, and two, so my son can have a better life.
Mm-hmm.
Because my parents had went through some shit like terror. I mean, my mom had her dad say some stuff about her mom that was basically, "Hey, I'm done,"
Mm-hmm.
on a drive randomly at 19. Like, you can't just drop that on your oldest child. You know what I mean? My dad, he was
Yeah.
raised from a single father when his mom left when he was 5. He's been
Mm-hmm.
through some shit. My grandpa was born in Mexico, raised in Mexico, came to the States at 13, and raised 3 kids, and ran half of the orchards in my hometown. And that was back in the 80s. So you can't tell me
Mm-hmm.
that he hasn't been through shit himself. And so, you know, while I probably got treated better than they did as kids, it still isn't how I'm going to want to raise him.
No, absolutely. It's
And
something I want to
and
like
that's
add
what I
on
was
top
kind
of
of
just
saying about the generational
yeah.
trauma thing. The ball stops with me.
Mm-hmm.
But you were saying, sorry, that was the
No,
last bit of
no,
it.
no, no. You're good. What I was saying is like I feel like every generation goes through different changes in life, and like there's different progressions in life. Like what your grandfather grew up with is different from what how he raised you and your dad and all that. How your dad grew up was different than how you grew up. We all grew up in these
Right.
different generations, and I feel like you know there was a time where back in the day it was like one was like a man up generation, one was like a get smart generation, and now we're in like a wellness check generation.
It's an
Like it's
awakening
not that
generation.
it's yeah, it's not like we're hiding shit anymore. Like why hide? Like we're all going through shit. Life fucking sucks half the fucking time, but it doesn't mean we can't enjoy what we're fucking doing. We can't love each other like we're like how it is now. So like even something like where you're
And that's what I
like,
was trying to say about the working thing. Yeah, because the working
mm-hmm,
thing goes back to that entire situation as well, where it's like, no, we were basically told figure it out.
mm-hmm,
That's kind of what our generation has been doing the entire fucking time.
yeah,
Because people that lost jobs over COVID figure it out. EMS, nurses, police officers. Hey, we just want to make sure us and our boys are safe. You know, us and our girls are safe. Shit's going on that we can't really, you know, mess with. This is a lot. Figure it out. People that were
mm-hmm,
at big companies that were doing a lot of layoffs due to everything that was going on. Well, what are we supposed to do? How are we supposed to feed our kids? Figure it out. And that's where a lot of people, I feel like, at least the 90s to like 2005 generation of parents that became parents in that timeline were,
Mm-hmm.
hey, we have to figure this out ourselves, because there was other shit
Yeah.
that was going on prior with their parents and shit like that. Because like my grandma, my mom told my grandma, because she was, after all that shit went down, my grandma had a really bad depressive episode. She was going through it, like, wasn't really there mentally even. And my mom used me as a bargaining chip, and she said, look, if you don't figure your shit out, you're not going to be able to see him.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of hit my grandma of like, oh my god, that kind of realization, same thing, where it was like, hey, I need to work on my shit. She got better and got to a point where she met my new grandpa. And I was about 9 when they met or whatever, and he's really came into my life, been a grandfather, been like a role model, honestly. But I've seen her be happier. And then even just like this last year, my mom was going to have her sister, my aunt, and her mom go to Vegas for the Adele concert that was there a couple months ago for my aunt's birthday.
Mm-hmm.
My grandma had to go home the day after their flight there because she had an anxiety attack, because all of her siblings are starting to have issues. All of her
Yeah.
like the aunts and uncles are starting to have issues where they're passing away. Like my mom's side of the family, regardless of like grandpa or grandma, like her actual parents, we've had about 8 people pass away in the last year. And it really fucked with my grandma, because she's still super close with my grandpa's family, to where like at family reunions they ask, hey, where's Cindy?
Mm-hmm.
you know and my grandma had to go to inpatient for 2 days
That bad.
because she sat there. No, she sat there and she thought about, and this is what my mom told me. She said that my grandma told her, what would Mace do in this situation? And she said, regardless of what was going on, she needed to be selfish and take care of herself first. And she understood her
Absolutely.
daughter's birthday, but her daughter also understood that there was other things going on that she needed to get the support for, and they both supported her and let her go.
I love. Yeah.
And now we're all good. They went to Hawaii with my parents to go, when they had their conference.
Mm-hmm.
So it just shows, like, even that little bit was like, hey, I got this, if that makes sense.
No, it really does. You like again, we're talking about some real shit right now. And like it takes a lot of heart, courage, and vulnerability to do this. And like like even talking about someone's day like is a lot to somebody. Like and I'm not
Yeah.
saying like and like I'm not saying like everybody should just pour out their hearts to everybody and everything, but me and you have come to a point in our life that we've been through so much shit. We've had so many experiences. It's like there's no point in us hiding it. Like we want to use these times for us to share these things so people can grow, people can learn, and hopefully this may resonate with somebody to where if they're going through something or they notice something in their life that's off, and this is like, oh, maybe I'm going through something or maybe I'm dealing with something, that they would go get that help or reach out for help. Like
Right.
it's a
And the
scary
thing
moment
is
for
like,
yeah.
I've even told Chronic this, going back to not, trying to make everybody happy almost.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas it's not, I'm trying to make people happy. I'm just trying to make sure people are okay.
Yeah.
And like I've told everybody that I've met this. I've never once tried to make an enemy while streaming. All I've tried to do is make friends. And if we don't mesh,
It happens.
even further beyond. That's the boy Rhino dropping his big dick with a sub. Thank you, big dog. I appreciate you. Um, but like when it comes to, if we have a falling out, it is what it is. I'm not gonna have any skin off my bones. I'm not gonna talk shit about you. Like the whole thing that me and Chronic had with this falling out with this other group. It is what it is.
Mhm. Mhm.
I'm not gonna spout bad things about them because I genuinely enjoyed the time. And I told the wife when we got booted out of it, I told Chronic about this. I said, look, I had some genuine friends that I thought I was making in there, and I was enjoying hanging out with them. What about all those friendships that I can no longer access because I'm not able to?
Mhm.
And he goes, this is where you have to be a content creator and not worry about it. Because at this point, with everything we've got going on, with this interview, with the way we're all growing, with the way that the streaming platform is becoming more of a fucking family, at least with our, Discord that we have, it goes back to me representing what I'm doing. And it
Mhm.
goes back to, I'm not going to have an enemy with someone just because they're upset. I will
Mhm.
let somebody think however they want to about me. Think what you want. Think I'm annoying. Think I'm fucking ugly. Think I'm a fat piece of shit that does what, stupid shit, whatever. I don't even fucking care. Because I can't
Mhm.
finish that statement because to me, I don't see myself as that anymore. I could give a fuck less what others think. And I think that's the biggest thing. And I never understood it before. I never understood it before, like this conversation to me, when people would say, yeah, I don't care. I don't care what people think. Because it was like, how could you not? Because I would sit there and I'd get anxious and I'd be like, well, if I do this wrong, they're going to sit there and belittle me for it. Or they're going to think I'm fucking stupid because I don't understand what's going on.
Mhm.
So then I would get overly invested in that one subject, get hyper focused on it, get smart at it, and then go, oh, well, did you know this and this and this? And then I'd be overwhelming and a know it all. But then
Mhm.
it's because I was so self-centered at the time that I was like, you know what? I need to stop focusing on myself like in a negative light, start focusing on myself while bettering it. And
Yes.
like I
Yes.
said,
Yes.
I don't care what anybody thinks about me anymore. I'm just here to have a good time, good smoke, meet good people, and fucking vibe out.
I think what you just said right there is such a key thing that I wish a lot more people can grow to at some point. It's a hard thing. Like it took me
It
years
is.
and therapy to get to that point. And the only reason I got to that point is because I started taking care of myself and started wanting to be better about my mental image of myself and what I want to be. And then once I became more self-confident with who I am, what I am, and how I want to present myself, like let somebody else think different of that. Like that's fine because I know who I am. I walk the
Dude,
fucking line I walk, and I fucking do it off stream, on stream, wherever you want to meet.
see,
We can
and
you see the same person.
and that's the thing is like, you know, story. Katie and I, we had been trying for about 2 years to
Mm-hmm.
not have it. There was nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had gotten my stuff checked out. She had gotten her stuff checked out. Well, I find out that I'm only pushing about 60% of what I should be at 20,
Mm-hmm.
which is kind of weird.
Yeah.
But it's just because that's how I am. I'm always doing something, so it's not really focused on what I got going on. And with her, she just had reasons on why this, certain stuff was going on. Her hormones weren't balanced out and everything. So we had gotten onto medications to help her out. Went through all 5 cycles, and we're on the sixth one, the very last that we could be for this medication for her before we had to stop for an entire year and then retry again.
Mm-hmm.
And in October, she told me, hey, we're pregnant. That was 2 weeks before I got my new mental health medication.
Ooh.
Yeah. And so to me, it was almost, I had a realization because the same day she told me she was pregnant, I also found out from the VA that I could have had a pituitary tumor.
Damn.
And so I had to go up to the VA to go get checked out. So there was a lot of wheels and a lot of things turning at the time. And my brain was already in the headspace of, oh my God, am I going to fucking die before the baby gets here? Am I going to have cancer? Am I going to have this? Because you hear tumor and your mind starts to fucking race.
Oh yeah,
We go up there,
absolutely.
we get me checked out. find out, no, there's no tumor. But then it clicked for me. I need to figure my shit out before he gets here.
Mm-hmm.
The thing was, she's told him the start of us being together, even as boyfriend, girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
Spent our time, we were getting ready to get engaged, like before I had proposed, but it was pretty close to that. She goes, I think you're going to be a great father. And it never really made, I didn't care because I was like, yeah, I'm probably going to be a better dad than my dad was to me, but it didn't really matter to me that much.
Mm-hmm.
Flash forward to now, we were arguing the other day and she goes, regardless of what you think about yourself whenever you're self-destructing, and regardless of however you feel whenever you're doing this shit, you are going to be a better dad than your dad was, and you are going to be a great fucking father, and I believe that. And it's not just from her, but I've also heard from friends that I've met online. And they go, just because of the way that your personality is, just because of the way that you vibe out, just because of the way that, like, Chronic's got his boy. If I see the little one going to bed, I'll be like, "Oh, good night, buddy." Because it's one of them things. I've always been around adults ever since I was little. I was the only child and only grandchild for 10 years,
Mm-hmm.
and my closest role model was my uncle, who's 12 years older than me. So I'm like his little
Mm-hmm.
brother.
Mm-hmm.
My aunt literally calls me Tantor because I'm like her little brother. She gave me a stuffed Tantor plushie for him.
Aw.
So like I'm big in family, and I'm big in like understanding that, like you said earlier, without support, without telling people that need to support you how to support you, what are you supposed to do?
Exactly. Yeah, it's such a wild thing that like how we talked about earlier, like we're in this age of just wokeness, whether it's mental wokeness, whether it's just family oriented, whatever. It's coming to that. We're in this generation where things are more coming to light and it's more normal. We're getting rid of these stigmatisms, and it's nice
It's a
to be around that.
generation of true peace, because strong times create great men create peace times, peace times
Mm-hmm.
create weak men, and weak men create strong times.
Mm-hmm. It's an
And the
endless
cycle
cycle almost.
repeats, and the cycle
Mm-hmm.
repeats. And right now, we are in a peacetime that is creating, and no offense to anybody, weak men. And that's where a lot of it's having to come from understanding, yo, this is what people have going on. This is the way to better ourselves. And once we do that, we become stronger men
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
because we have a better understanding of who we are as people, who we are as fucking human beings, and who we are genuinely. And this is coming off the top of my fucking dome, in our souls. Because I don't believe, like, I could look like a fucking the dude from American Pie with the hand and still be the
Yeah, yeah,
same
yeah,
person,
yeah, yeah.
I am inside,
Mm-hmm.
and and be okay. Because it's not the way you look. Yes, that's part of it. It's not the way you do things. It's who you are.
It's who you are and how you act on it.
Yes.
Like beautifully, beautifully fucking put. So we're approaching 3 hours. Time
Yeah.
fucking flew by. I fucking blinked and I was like, holy shit. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna end on two kind of questions. One's I always do one that's not such a serious question, it's like a stupid fucking question to kind of get your
Okay.
mind just enjoying the fucking moment. And then one's gonna be more like a heartfelt moment. So the stupid fucking question is this, all right? We kind of talked about unhinged food takes, like right, like how we talked about the person always only eating mayo or the mayo banana sandwich or whatever. But I gotta know, do you have like a secret like secret weird craving of food? Like is there something that you eat or you love to do that other people are just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
What is it? What is
There
it?
was one time, so I got baked when I was like 16 years old, and I came up with this in my mind when my parents were gone at a whiskey music fest.
Mm-hmm.
And you take ramen,
Mm-hmm.
like a pack of ramen or like a cup ramen or whatever, put it in a plastic Ziploc container, throw it in the microwave, do its thing. Don't put the packet of flavoring in it.
Mm-hmm.
You cook an over easy egg, throw it in there, mix it in. and there's this chili. It's called, hold on, it's called Nally's. I don't know where the fuck you can get it on the eastern side of the fucking country besides like, or from Washington over, because I've only ever found it back home. It's called
Yeah,
Nally's.
yeah,
It's almost like a Chicago style chili, but it's more chili, like it's more beans than chili,
yeah,
if
yeah,
that
yeah,
makes
yeah,
sense.
yeah, 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 yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Well, you take that can of chili, put that in the ramen, and
Mm-hmm.
then take cheese and put that in there. You got cheesy ramen or chili ramen.
Bro, you just
One of the
dude,
best fucking indulges I had when I was high.
dude, you just fucking
I
blew my
did
goddamn
it one
mind
time in
with
front of
that.
her when I was sober. It made me feel, dude, I was like so lethargic the next day because it was a straight cargo load, and I was sitting there, I was like,
Yeah. Yeah, you
oh,
just felt bloated. Yeah.
oh.
One of my unhinged takes that I love, and like my friends get me so much shit for, but I love it. One of my favorite high snacks of all time, and this is like gonna be really weird, just straight up dry ramen.
Yep,
So what I'll
ramen
do,
chips.
ramen. Well, I don't even no. I don't even do chips. I will just take the fucking square brick it is, put the
Oh, that's what
seasoning
we
on
called it.
top.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, and just
dip
eat it
it
like
and
a
shake it.
fucking. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
I love that shit. And people are like, what the fuck? That's like gross. I'm like, bro, it's the same shit, just not water. I
exactly.
love it though.
Yeah,
I love
it's
it.
so good.
Dude, it's such a stupid thing, but it's great. Okay, so now that we got the fun little stupid question out the way,
Yeah.
I usually like to act this at the end of every interview. I feel like everybody has something in their heart, whether it was from what we talked about or just in general what they're going through or in life, that they always want to try to implement onto others as best they can. What is if somebody had to like just speed to the end of this podcast and they come to this point, what is something that you would want somebody to just walk away with right now and just any knowledge?
If you can't be yourself, don't try to look for somebody to help you do so.
Okay. Why do you say that?
Because I feel like if you go forcing something, typically what's going to happen is always the opposite. And if you try to
Okay.
force, if you try to force yourself to be something you're not, you're going to go right back to being who you were. If you try to force yourself into finding somebody who to force that good part of you out,
Mm-hmm.
it's never going to work out. And
So
so
just so yeah.
go ahead. No, you're fine. I want to hear how you
No, 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 no.
understand it.
I was just gonna say like so instead of like when you're trying to find who you really are, don't try to rely on others to do it. Try to rely on just finding it at the right time at the right moment. Don't force it.
Wait for it to happen because eventually it will come. And regardless if that's your mental health, if that's who you are sexually, who things like that, it genuinely make sure you take the time to figure this out on your own
Mm-hmm.
and set that time aside for yourself, whether it's prayer, whether it's meditation, whether it's reading a book on the fucking couch and you got nothing else in your head, whether it's going to play golf, going to do something stupid at a pool, going to a skate park, doing whatever you do to just make yourself happy. Find your like your point in like Happy Gilmore, your happy place.
Mm-hmm.
Like that scene where you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
And
just
so
tap it in.
yeah, because I've learned that if you try to force destiny, like I've said, it's going to go right back to being the opposite.
Yeah. No, I like that take because
And
like
I've
if you're trying to force yourself into doing something that you're not ready for or you're not there mentally or whatever, you're just gonna go revert back to whatever state you are in. So if you're not ready and you're lost, you're just gonna be stuck lost trying to fake
and
something.
it'll make it worse because why fix something if it's already broken? Why not try to move on to the
Ooh.
next thing to make it better and improve on it?
Mm, I like that.
Because I never look at things as though, oh shit, this is broke, I need to fix it. I look at it as this isn't broken, but I can use this as a baseline to then make it better and give you a
Mm-hmm.
2.0.
Yeah.
Like right
Why
now,
fit?
who you're seeing from me right now is honestly probably the fifth iteration of who I truly really am. And it's because I've worked through so much different like so many different phases of who I am as a person throughout this time.
Mm-hmm.
I was the spoiled brat for fucking 10 years of my life because I was the only kid, only grandchild, and then I had my little brother show up when I was 10, and all my friends kind of put me on the low end of the totem pole, and I've been through the whole bullying stage. I've had 12 people commit suicide since I was 12 years old. I know personally. And one of them being my
Mm-hmm.
best friend from when I was 9 years old, all the way up until
Mm-hmm.
I was 17. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so from that, I've learned to take my experiences and build from them rather than look at it as, well, this is broke, so now I need to fix it. I look at it as, well, this is broke, so how do I move on and improve it?
I like that. I like how it's like it's never so much
I'm
completely
always
like,
stepping forward.
yeah, you're always like I always talk to people like you're never going to be the same program. You're always pushing a new update. So like, and there's nothing wrong with updates
I
because there's
like
always going to be
that.
like bugs. There's always going to be bugs you're going to catch, and there's always going to be things that you can always work and improve on. Like I always tell everybody this: you'll never be a perfect human. You're always every day of your life, you're always going to be learning, growing, and figure out new things about yourself. So don't always feel like you're never yourself.
I mean,
Just
hell,
know
I
that
did it today.
yeah, like you're always going to be you, and you're never gonna know everything about you because like one day you're this, and like 3 weeks from now you could have a revelation and it could bring you to another plane of life, to another understanding of yourself, to even better yourself. Like
Right.
you're always just pushing a new update, whether it's a 1.0 to a 2.0 or a 1.0 to a 1.5. You are always just going to keep pushing updates. So don't be mad that you're not where you're at now, whether it's streaming, whether it's your personal life or anything like that. Just keep pushing updates, take your time and learn. That's the
There's
most
an
important thing that people can do.
there's a there like the most baseline way to explain this. Your journey may be, for the year may look like this, while
Hmm.
today looks like this.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
happens. Hell, you might even have days where you're doing this on the mountain, but even still, you're eventually going to go back up, and you
Yeah.
have to
As
push
long
through it.
as long as you take the time to work on yourself and with yourself, that's the most important thing. You could always work on yourself and just keep beating yourself up, but as long as you work with yourself, with where you are in life and like your understanding of everything, you're like every day is a growth and experience day. Like whether it's a bad day, you can always have bad days. You're gonna have bad days, but you take those bad days and capitalize them when you're out of it, to be like, okay, here's where I got to this low. Let me figure out how to not get there so I can keep going higher.
Exactly.
Dude, beautiful. First of all, beautiful stuff you fucking said today. Like you not only opened my eyes to a lot more understanding of, like with even with my own like just mental health and how other people deal with it, but you've also brought like a light almost to this whole conversation. Like I like how like we took this more from like just streaming to just talk about everyday life, because I
Right.
want that to be an importance to people, is that content creation is not just on the screen. Content creation starts with the person creating the content. And if
Yep.
that person is broken on the inside or dealing with stuff, they're never going to get to the full potential of where they want to be. They're never going to get to the full potential of where they need to go.
And you
And
know
then
why
they're
that
going to
is?
stop. Hmm.
Because they're trying to fill the void that they got from being broken. And until they work on that and fix it, it's not going to be there, because you're not going to realize how many other people you got around you. It, I hate to bring anime into this shit.
I'll
Look,
do it. Bring it.
look at the final fight in Naruto. When they're
Ooh.
doing
Okay.
the
Okay. Okay.
Rasengan versus Chidori clash, and all you see is Sasuke coming down, and it's just Itachi, and then you see Naruto come up, and it's his dad, his mom, Jiraiya, Kakashi, fucking even Sakura, her useless ass is fucking helping out. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
No, it
everybody's
really is
helping him
though.
out, and it's because he filled that void that he had from so much hate, and then built on it and moved forward, made these connections, made these relationships, and worked on it. And it wasn't
Hmm.
until, Naruto showed Sasuke the light of,
Hmm.
this is what it's like to truly have the support.
Mm-hmm.
Get it through your fucking head. Basically is
Yeah,
what he did.
basically. Exactly. No, I love that. So let me end on this. Mace, first of all, number one, thank you for coming and sharing not only your heart, but your mind and just yourself and just sharing what you have for everybody in the podcast. But most
I
importantly,
appreciate the
like,
time.
dude, like I enjoyed this more than you think. Like I always joke around with myself because I'll look back at the videos when I'm editing and I'm like looking at myself like, man, I just look like I'm just like either dialed in or just like staring off into oblivion because I have like on an angle and all that. But I want to say I truly do appreciate your heart, what you had to say today, and you as a human being. Not only do I wish the best of success for you in your whatever future you have, whether it's streaming, whether it's another profession in Colorado or whatever, but I hope you and your lovely wife, just keep growing with each other. I hope when your son does come, he will be more than happy to have a father like you, because like your wife said, like the way you speak now and how you speak about like how much you love your dad and how much you want to grow other people, I know that heart, that genuine loving heart, is going to translate into a son, and I know your son's going to be blessed to have you as a father. So I wish you nothing but blessings in your
You're gonna
life.
make me fucking cry. Don't you start.
Dude,
Stop
I'm
it.
fucking crying, dude. I wish you nothing but pure blessings upon you, whether, like I said, in everything that you do. And obviously you're gonna see me in your streams, and even when just know that, like, you ever need somebody to talk to, I'm always there as best as I can for everybody. All right.
And I will do the same for you. I can't really put it into words any other way than you did, because now you got me fucked up and choked up. God damn it.
Exactly. Ha ha ha. Winner.
But no, if anything, I could just thank you for the time today, dude. I genuinely appreciate the conversation. I feel like I got a lot out that I haven't thought about in a long time, let alone even thought about before, and had
Hmm.
me do a lot of self-realization today. And
Hmm.
it's opened my eyes a lot more
Like
into
I
who
said,
I
like,
am.
dude, and like I said, whether this conversation is about streaming or this conversation is just us talking as human beings, like, the more we learn and grow, the more it's going to translate to everything we do. Like, my year this year is learning how to not give a fuck about what other people think and just doing what I want to do. And
That's
that's
how
been
I
one of
did
the
last
hardest
year.
things, dude. And that it's been one of the hardest, like, learning curves for me, just because I'm so used to just being self-conscious about everything I do. Like, oh, I have to act a certain way, or I have to be a certain way, or I have to do this, I have to do that. And I'm just like,
And it's not that you
I
have
just
an
got,
ego, but it's almost like
no.
it's almost like you do in a sense, because it's the angel and devil on the shoulder, but the devil's at 98% and the angel's at 2.
Hmm. And even that 2% is like kind of like mind fucking at times too. Like, I always feel like I have to walk a certain line and carry a certain responsibility, but at the same time, like, even though I carry this responsibility, doesn't mean I can't just do what I think is best for me and not what is best based on what other people tell me or what other people think.
Right.
Like, like everybody's gonna have their difference of opinions.
Oh,
Everybody's
yeah.
gonna have their different thoughts on how to do things, and like we see this on Twitter with with the streaming world, and we see this with just in general life. But having difference of opinions doesn't mean we can't work together, learn together, grow together, or be us.
Human.
I can sorry, I don't know. You said something common sense wise, but some people haven't fucking heard that yet.
It
Like,
happens. We make fucking mistakes. Like, welcome to fucking humanity. I'm sorry, but it's what we fucking
mhm,
do.
exactly. And that's the whole thing, is that I want people to understand that, like, we're all human, and like, especially with the content creation world, there's no straightforward path. There's a million different
No,
divert roads that all lead to success. So whether I like someone does something or not is impartial to me, because if it's showing them success and that's the genuine side of them, I don't fucking care. Now,
yeah.
you're always gonna get those Harvey Dents with the two faces in the world, and you're always gonna have bad issues. But the most important thing is, as long as you are genuine with yourself, genuine with the people who support you, and you love what you're doing, don't worry about what anybody else has to fucking think. Just keep fucking doing you.
You wrapped it up.
Straightforward.
You wrapped it up.
Beautiful. I'm gonna end recording right there.